What's up? What's up, everyone? What is up? What is up? Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays to everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. All right. I mean, if you're not American, right? Hope everyone's doing well. Since I'm not really working today, I figured why not do a live stream? Right? Why not do a live stream for a bit and, you know, hang out with you guys. If you guys are free, not doing anything tonight, let's chill. Let's hang out. Let's check out some a bunch of videos and, you know, let's hang out together. Let's chat, hang out, you know. So yeah. I have a bunch of videos I want to check out. So I think it'll be fun, right? I think it will be fun. So let's get started. All right, let's get started. You know, let's just hang out tonight. And interesting that that there's a user called Devil's Advocate H8W. Oh, does that mean hate? Is that hate women? I hope that's not hate women. Because that's not really what I'm about, right? Hope that's not what, you know, what you're thinking. But anyway, let's watch some videos out. Let's watch some videos. All right, let's watch some videos.
So I recently got friend zoned by a guy at my work.
So I got friend zoned. Tonight I finally got the courage to ask one of my guy friends out and admit my feelings for him. And I asked him to be my boyfriend and he said no. He did not feel the same way for me and he said that he just wanted to be friends.
Rejected.
I have been crying all night.
I told this boy he could hit it if he could build my bookshelf.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Yes, sir, brother. I want a boyfriend so freaking bad!
You know why they want boyfriends and husbands so bad? It's because we foot the bill. We pay for the dates. We plan things. We're fun. We have a personality. We're adventurous. We're funny. We have all these things that women benefit from. This is why they're so hungry and thirsty for companionship. They cannot be alone. We give them attention. We give them a shoulder to cry on. I mean, let's be real. We offer them so much. These women should actually be paying us to be in a relationship. We're the actual prize. Have you seen a man on social media say, I want a girlfriend so bad? No, because that a woman is responsibility. Let's just be real. It's a lot dealing with them. And this is why women want to be with us. They can nag us. They can complain. There's so many things that they benefit from by just being with a man.
Women.
Why does the friend zone exist?
For losers who are meant to be there.
Would you say he's in the friend zone?
Yes, I do have a boyfriend.
Are you guys in a relationship?
Yeah. No.
Oh. Okay, well,
you say yeah, you say no.
We are not in a relationship. No.
Okay, I guess we're not.
All right, I might have to.
so many men have no respect. This is a thing where I don't promote hating women. I promote men having self-respect. I said this where plenty of times I don't really do prescriptions, right? When it comes to advice or really, but if I would say anything, I'll say, my brothers, gain self-respect, focus on yourself, focus on improving yourself, and get a passport. Get a passport.
Take my own advice, because right now I am so frustrated by the fact that like I can't see anything more with this guy I'm seeing. And he's a great guy. He's a great guy on paper, great guy in person.
Let's translate what. So you guys, you can had dark triad traits. They probably didn't care about you. This guy, guess what? He's perfect on paper. He probably is, loving, caring. He can, do a whole bunch for you emotionally and be there for you. But your exes never did that.
But it's so frustrating. Like, he's a great guy. He's like such a good guy, and it's like and then I don't see more with him. It's like, why? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what is wrong with me.
I think this is the thing where a lot of women, they deal with certain men that certain men don't have the ability, or they're not the type of men that would light a fire, right, under women, right? They don't give women a spark. They don't give women the, I don't know, the vibe, the energy or whatever. Okay, the chemistry. Because a lot of men don't really, controversially, I think a lot of those things are manipulation techniques. I've heard plenty of men where, at least, the players, the bad boys, saying that they do certain techniques to get a woman to be, have the dopamine effect of chemistry and stuff like that.
A year, and he never asked me to be his girlfriend. So at the end of it, I was like, hey, do you want to be my boyfriend? And he goes, nope. And I was like, do you not like me enough? And he goes, no, I actually love you. Right. No, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so I was like, do you not want to commit? And he was like, no, I want to commit so badly. I just can't. Right. Okay, so that makes even more sense. That checks out. He has a girlfriend now, so.
Something y'all never told y'all ex.
That I was Miss Innocent, but I wasn't as innocent as he thought I was.
Oh my God. So what was you doing?
He don't need to know all that, but he just needs to know that I wasn't as innocent as I pled to be.
She belongs to the street.
Why do girls put guys in the friend zone?
Because we don't like them, they're too nice.
What's wrong with being nice?
We like toxic.
What type of toxic?
Don't reply.
Women.
Again, that's the thing, right? It's the manipulation techniques that women love. I've always said it. I think women love liars. I think women love liars. Controversially, I think they do. Not all women, but I think a lot of them do.
Ghosted by a boy who I really wasn't that interested in, but I was surprised that he ghosted me still. Isn't that interesting?
How much money does a guy need to make in order to be with you?
Way over 5 mil.
I'm sorry, how much? Was that per year?
Over 5 million?
Yes.
Per year?
Yes.
Why?
Because that's how much. Never mind.
You need to get married.
But here's the thing where Real Rain, street interviews are the greatest anti-dating ad. I agree. I definitely agree. But this is the thing where a lot of these women their dating history, they're not dating those men. This is why it's hard. I hate how the internet is, right? Because, yeah, the internet a lot of times doesn't represent real life sometimes. It's because a lot of people just want to say stupid things, just say stupid things. Because let's say for a woman like that, oh, I won't date a man that doesn't make, that doesn't make more than 5 million. It's like, so have you always dated men that make more than 5 million? Usually the answer is no. So then what was the point of even saying that?
You got to figure it out. You got to find the
Educated in
Nursing.
This bitch will literally ruin your life.
Like, and these are the individuals who are allowed to vote. She will ruin your life, right? With false allegations. Fours of the world.
It's really offensive. Like it really frustrates me.
Would you be able to educate me, like, on the side? No, I'm being serious.
Regarding what?
Whatever you're educated in.
Well, considering I'm only a sophomore, I have a lot more to learn. I'm sure all of you.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, what?
Oh, never mind. Rejected.
I don't think I feel the spark anymore. Where's she going? Huh?
Feeling out?
I'm good, yeah.
You know, I realized that dating a girl with a kid is like playing story mode on another dude's saved game.
This is how you know the dating game is cooked. You can set up 3 dates in one day, and all of them will not go through.
Real Rain, how you doing, my brother? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good today. All right? Happy holidays to everyone.
And that's because these chicks got so many freaking options.
Listen, it's true, man. Like the dating apps, if you guys are still on them,
waste your time and not give a damn about it.
Ladies, just as you put a guy in the friend zone, a guy also has a friend zone. It's called the fun zone.
I'm getting kicked out of my apartment because Secret Admirer put a fraudulent charge on the rent. So I talked to him about resolutions. I said, I'll give you back every gift you have given me. I'm talking to the owner about reversing the payment for the rent that you've been paying my rent for.
He's been some simp has been paying her rent.
But no, he says that he wants to proceed with Dallas PD.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
He wants to proceed with Dallas PD, and he just wants to make my life like hell. This is why I don't like talking to men, or this is why I don't like being in a relationship. It's just
I am very.
You weren't in a relationship. This man was like, he wasn't your boyfriend. It didn't seem like it was your boyfriend. It seemed like it was a man that you were using.
Very okay with not having a man. Like, I don't need one. But where is he though? Like, where is he? Like, is he stuck in traffic? Like, where is he though?
How come every time you have sex with someone they leave?
Emotional, damn it!
Like, and then you're saying that you're not attracted to me.
I'm not. No, I am attracted.
Okay, then why am I even here?
I'm attracted.
I'm not even gonna do more with you. How are you gonna say that you're not attracted to me? And you're over here, like, leading me on, and then you're saying, oh yeah, no, we're just friends. Like, what?
Because we're just friends.
Rejected.
Y'all, men are trash. I literally just found out that this guy I hooked up with like a few times many years ago is now in a relationship.
women, they get.
How's that make him trash? They all have the crazy eyes. I agree, Real Rain. They do.
Get mad when you move on, right? A lot of women, they think that, well, now he with somebody else, you know, maybe she's special. This is how women think.
Like, I'm gonna message this girl.
If you had 15 minutes with me on this beautiful beach in France, what are we doing?
You?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for someone else probably.
Rejected.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know, there's a lot of people here. Probably just try to find someone else. You look kind of weird.
Weird?
Yeah. I feel like you do this to a lot of guys too. So like, I'm good.
Okay.
My boyfriend just friend-zoned me after he got promoted. And I have the receipts. So don't scroll. So as a lot of people do when they've been promoted, they like to update their LinkedIn profile with the promotion and get all their congratulations from all their businessy connections. Now, my boyfriend was no different, and yet this is what he did. This is what he did. So he's updated his LinkedIn profile with the promotion, as you do. Lots of people do that. So I wanted to be a supportive girlfriend. So I have commented a lovely, smashing it, well done, kiss, star emoji, you know, like, ooh, yay, well done, proud of you. And this is his response. Cheers, Alice. Sorry. Did we not share a bed last night? Like, did we not make sweet, sweet love together the other day? Like, what is going on? So you're now a high-flying businessman and doesn't need a little old girlfriend like Alice? Like, ugh.
Congratulations.
God, I think a lot of women just make up their own problems. Right? It's ridiculous. Let's check out some other stuff. I just wanted to check out this video for it. But let's watch some other things. I'm just watching certain videos tonight, just for the hell of it. Let's, here's a video I have saved. Here's a video I have saved that I wanted to check out, right? See if, what is it about? It seems interesting.
Experiencing a loneliness that they didn't fully anticipate. Hello, my dears. So recently I've been seeing more and more articles of women who are in their 50s and 60s writing about how feminism or their feminist beliefs have negatively impacted their love lives. They write about experiencing a loneliness that they didn't fully anticipate when they were younger. And today we're going to be looking at 3 different women who shared their stories and discussed this, because I think it could be quite interesting, and I definitely think their stories serve as cautionary tales for women who also want to have families but maybe are trying really hard to apply a feminist way of doing things, or trying to apply some of the feminist beliefs in the way that they try to conduct their relationship.
Steve, what's up, my brother? Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. If you guys aren't doing nothing, thank you for being here, right? Let's let's hang out together. All right, we're hanging out together. So if you guys ain't doing nothing, we are hanging out together.
So the first article is titled, "I Regret Belittling Men. At 63, I've Ended Up Alone," by Kate Mulvey. So within the article, Mulvey basically reflects that at 63, she feels as though she, quote, paid a hefty price for so-called liberation. She discusses how she came to the realization that her feminist beliefs may have contributed to her being single at this age, as she writes, quote, "I'm convinced feminism has ruined my love life." As a teenager, she was introduced to the women's liberation movement through listening to feminist mantras from figures like Germaine Greer and Betty Friedan, whom she says taught her to act like a man and demonize housework and the family. By her mid-20s, she had very strong academic credentials, and she says she was, quote, keen to flex her intellectual muscles and to never let the man get the last word. She also admits that she was very competitive within her relationships, with some of the men describing her as intimidating, scary, and opinionated. She also talks about how she treated a lot of conversations with men as like sparring matches, saying, quote, "I was treating every encounter with a man like he was my adversary."
Yes, this is a live stream. This is the live stream. What's up, laughing man? What's up, my brother? What is up? Thank you for being here.
And she also admits that a lot of this was because she was scared of vulnerability, as she states, quote, "I longed to be loved, but I also was too scared to be vulnerable. I was using my sharp mind to protect my all too soft heart against rejection." Within her article, she also recalls on past experiences that she had within her relationships and how she now sees why she was wrong to do some of the things that she did. For example, she recalls going on holiday with an ex-boyfriend. They went to Italy together, and she started speaking in Italian to the waiter. She states that she was oblivious to how she must have made her boyfriend at the time feel, as he was essentially just watching her having a full-blown conversation with this Italian waiter in the language that he didn't understand. And now looking back on it, she says she realizes that she was actually just showing off, and in the process of doing that, she was making him feel very small. She also acknowledges how in past relationships or past romantic encounters, she was also very dismissive of kindness, recalling one particular incident where a man gifted her flowers and she criticized him rather than accepting the kind gesture. Then when it comes to the sexual revolution movement, she also acknowledges the fact that she regrets the views that she had at the time.
You know, this is the thing where I think I'm the only male content creator that says this. I said this a lot, and I will always stand on it. I'm a big supporter of women, Western women, feminist women, staying single forever. Hopefully single and childless. I think a lot of women should just go their own way, right? Be happily single. I think more people, more men should promote Western modern day women to just get out of the dating market, opt out of the dating market. It took her 40 years to realize she was a problem. And that's how long, exactly. It's a very, takes a long time for these women to realize.
About casual sex, saying that she had many one-night stands in her youth, but they often left her feeling very empty and used. And now looking back, she feels as though we very much devalued things like intimacy, connection, and all of these things when it comes to sex, and she thinks that that was not the best choice for us to do. Despite having a very successful career, she says that she's never been married, never had children, and the longest relationship she's ever had lasted 8 years. And she very much believes that her loneliness was partly as a result of the attitudes that she had in her youth. But now she says,
yeah, that is crazy. The 4B movement thing last year, Or it was, I think it was the beginning of the year, right? I think it was the beginning of the year when Trump got into office. All the women said, "Oh, I'm gonna do 4B. I'm gonna do 4B." I was a big supporter. 4B women, go ahead. All right, stay single forever. I hope women will stay single forever. I'm a big supporter of that because this is the thing. I've said this before. Us as men, what we should do is focus on ourselves and get a passport. Focus on ourselves, better ourselves, and get a passport. And while we're focusing on ourselves, we're watching the world that women created burn down.
Says she's learned to take a step back and now understands that it's also okay to let the men in your life also shine. She does clarify though and say that it's not about dumbing yourself down or becoming a giggly male pleaser, as she says, but more so about just understanding the importance of balance. Then she ends her article with an invitation saying her diary is wide open, go on, I dare you. Then the second article we're going to discuss is titled How Feminism Effed Up My Love Life by Lori Gottlieb. Now Gottlieb starts her article with a very provocative assertion that feminism completely effed up her love life. But she does clarify and say, it's not feminism exactly, but what I consider to be a feminist way of doing things certainly didn't help. She says that her main problem is not necessarily feminism as a whole, but the distorted version of feminism that encourages women that they can have it all. The reason being is because she feels like it encourages women that they should be able to have everything in all areas, in relationships, in their careers, etc. It doesn't really allow them to have a real...
This is the thing where I said this to my daughter, right? I said this to my daughter. Now, is it impossible? No, I wouldn't say it's impossible. Right? I wouldn't say it's impossible that, could you have a great career and a great husband and great family? Probably, right? It's possible. I say it's improbable, right? The likelihood isn't high. It's not impossible. It's just not improbable. It's not high. So I've said this where, honestly, you could do whatever you want, right? Focus on your career. Cool. Focus on the family. Cool, right? Focus on finding a man, having a family, cool. But to think that you can have it all is ridiculous. To think that you can have it all is honestly a delusion. Now, if you want to try, go for it. If you want to try, go for it. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, you blame nobody but yourself if that's what you're trying to do, right? Christmas, honestly, is another day for me. All right, Christmas is another day for me. Again, ever since I got an adult, who's buying me a present, right? I mean, the best I would do is buy I'll probably buy my daughter a present. But honestly, it's not like, it's not like who am I celebrating Christmas with, right? I mean, us as men, are we celebrating these holidays with who? I mean, my mom, like I said, my mom is on vacation. So back in the day, couple years ago when my mom was here during the holidays, she would get everyone together. All my siblings, we would get together. She would cook. My mom would cook and we'll eat and we'll hang out. Now, since my mom is always on vacation during this time of year, we really, my sister has her own family. All my siblings have their own family, right? So they have their own family, they have their own kids. So they're doing their own thing. So, celebrating like what? I mean, that's my thing. Nope. Yeah, that's the thing where it's not like I avoid family drama, but again, my family, they have their own spouses, they have their own kids, so they're doing their own thing. So I don't know. I just don't see the point in, doing anything. It's not like they're inviting me, and it's fine. I don't expect it, or I'm clamoring for them to invite me to anything because I'm not really desiring it, right? But this is the thing. I celebrate these holidays with you, right? Last year, right? Last year I celebrated Christmas on stream. And I liked it, right? I didn't mind. I celebrated Christmas on stream, so I didn't mind. The older I get, the more unnecessary holidays become. I agree. So I fall into that camp. Holidays are just another day for me. Organic. What's up? Thank you for being here. Thank you, my brother. All right. Happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to you, my brother.
expectation in terms of what they are able to have in their lives. She continues on to say that her generation were taught that in order to be empowered, they had to never compromise, stating, quote, "We grew up believing that we could have it all. Not compromising meant having high standards. The higher our standards, the more empowered we were." And she argues that this belief is what causes a lot of women, or a lot of women within her generation, to reject perfectly good partners, saying, quote, "In real life, you can't get everything you want, when you want it, on your terms only." And this view caused a lot of them to view dating as searching or hunting, or shopping rather, for the perfect partner, and looking at men as a package deal rather than as really human beings with their own individual flaws that they might have, but also good qualities as well. They had very...
And that's what I think, right? I think a lot of, I think, I think it has to be different, right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it's all good, right? Just thank you for coming, right? Thank you for coming. I mean, sometimes YouTube is weird, right? Sometimes YouTube is weird. But yeah, I think a lot of problem with like modern day women is the search for perfection, right? It's the search for perfection.
Very, very strict superficial criteria of what they wanted from a man, and if there was anything that wasn't being ticked off on that list, they would discard them entirely. She also discusses what she saw often, which was this mismatch between the public feminist identity versus the private secret longing. As she says, quote, "Every one of my single friends wanted to be married, but none of us would admit how badly we craved it for fear of..."
I agree, Real Rain, right? Not compromising is a sign of immaturity. It's a sign of selfishness, in my opinion, right? It's a sign of selfishness, where you only care about yourself, no one else.
Sounding weak or needy or, God forbid, anti-feminist. And I can completely understand where she's coming from. I mean, nowadays, if you express that you want any of these things, you're likely going to be called a pick-me, which is kind of similar to being called an anti-feminist, because whenever you're called these things, it implies that you don't like women, or you're betraying women because you're trying to appease or to pander to men. And this is something that Gottlieb actually acknowledges within her own article, as she says that aspiring for or wanting these more traditional ideals is often very much seen as betraying the feminist cause. Gottlieb describes the attitudes she saw as generational entitlement, women expecting constant passion, ideal partners, and immediate fulfillment from marriage, writing, "We don't wait to see if connection develops. If a relationship takes too much effort, we bail." With many single women acting like maximizers who held the belief that the longer you wait and the more you search, the better the guy is going to have to be. You don't want to have gone through all that struggle and turmoil only to end up with a good enough guy. But she acknowledges the problem with this mentality, as she states that often it does lead many women to leaving relationships with men who are good just because they're not quite perfect. And then in the end, what ends up happening is, because they have this belief that because they've been looking for so long that the person they have to be with has to be practically perfect, or the best of the best of the best, it causes them to actually be a lot more critical of the men that they end up trying to date, because they're constantly trying to see if they are good enough, and they are more likely to focus on their faults and find that the men that they date will never truly measure up to the picture that they have inside their heads, which is why many of them would end up ultimately just being single. She also warns that indecisiveness as well as perpetual comparison can also lead to unhappiness, and also creates this fear of settling that some women have. But she does also make a clear distinction between settling and compromising, stating that she doesn't think that you should just marry an awful person just for the sake of getting married. However, it's important for you to have realistic expectations and realistic goals for what you want for yourself within your love life. What matters is finding the perfect partner, not the perfect person, having reasonable expectations. She then also encourages women to search for important core traits like shared values, kindness, and responsibility, rather than hyper-focusing on this superficial criteria checklist. I also found that Gottlieb, if I'm even pronouncing her name correctly, I really hope I am, but I'm trying, okay? I also found a really interesting interview that she did with Mary Claire, where she was talking about the problems with the feminist view of self-sufficiency. And she was talking about how she thinks that this idea of being super self-sufficient and hyper-independent is actually antithetical to a successful relationship, which requires interdependence and vulnerability.
Exactly. Organic, correct, right? I think that's a problem with a lot of women, right? They have such a vast, this is part of things why I said life experience for women is honestly a lot of times a negative, right? Why you don't stop being a Grinch? Laugh at me. It's not being a Grinch. It's not like I hate the holidays, right? But I'm saying, like, who am I spending the holidays with? I mean, I'm probably gonna buy a present for my daughter, right? But I mean, yeah, I don't hate the holidays. I actually like Christmas, right? I actually like Christmas. I like I do like I used to like Thanksgiving, right? So it's just a eating holiday. So not a Grinch. Right? It's like I don't want to steal Christmas. I don't want to ruin Christmas for anybody. So no Grinch. But Laughing Man, who's spending Christmas with? What are you doing for Christmas? Yeah, like again, life experience for women is honestly not that beneficial when it comes to relationships, right? A lot of times it jades women, it traumatizes women, it makes women more aggressive, more combative, more egotistical, more expectant. It doesn't help women, right? I mean, yeah, it ruins pair bonding. Yes, that's why higher body count equals less likely to pair bond. Yes, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. And again, right? This is my thing where I'm someone who don't agree with high body count for neither men nor women. Again, it's too much.
And so she very much argues that the feminist views about self-sufficiency are actually are misapplied in the context of romantic.
Steve, I'm this kind of same way. I love my family. I just don't like hanging out with them. It's not like I don't like hanging out with them, but I mean, like I kind of get bored hanging out with them, right? I kind of get bored hanging out with them. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't desire to hang out. I mean, once in a blue moon, I guess, but I don't desire to hang out with them like that.
Life, and for that reason it doesn't really work. And the reason I found it really interesting is because it actually reminded me of a conversation that I had with a friend of mine. I remember in the earlier stages of her relationship where we were talking on the phone, and she was saying how she found that she had to let go of some of these feminist views that she'd had for many years, because we both went through that feministy phase in our lives, because she was very much a hyper independent girl, like very, very independent, wanted to do everything for herself. And so when she got into a relationship with her boyfriend, now husband, she was very much determined to prove to him that she could independently do things, independently problem solve, and that she didn't need him, but not in a spiteful way, just in a way of trying to show.
Oh, really? Your mom is a hardcore liberal? Steve, I'm glad that nobody in my family is a hardcore liberal, right? The people in my family is more centered. Some maybe a little bit more center left, but they're a little bit more centered, right? Hardcore liberal. Oh God, if my mom was, I think I would never want to see my mom.
Him that she wasn't a burden, and she wasn't.
I feel for you, Steve.
Dead weight, she could hold her own, because to her she thought that would be an attractive trait. She thought that would be something that he.
Oh, she's 90. Your mom is 90. Yeah, no, yeah, she could be a hardcore liberal all she wants. It's like whatever, right? It's like okay, fine. Like I wouldn't even bother. She's 90, still a hardcore liberal. Come on.
Would like, when in reality what actually ended up happening was she ended up just making him feel as though, why was he really in her life? Because if she didn't really need him, then what was the point of them even being together? I think that's just because of the fact that for many women, including her at the time,
that's the thing. I think a lot of men settle, right? I think a lot of men settle. So getting with a hyper independent woman, which I've been with, and honestly it's a pain, right? Getting with a hyper independent woman is a pain. Her husband, I believe he settled. And that's the thing with men. It's like men constantly settle, right? We constantly settle for whatever we can get, which is, I think a lot of times just really disappointing. She drank the Kool-Aid. I don't disagree. She definitely did. So I don't know. I'm disappointed in a lot of men where, you know what, we get what we can get, right? If she's attractive, boom, fine, we'll take it. I'm like, come on, there's plenty of attractive women. I mean, why get with women with honestly a shitty personality?
I don't think we really understand just how much feeling needed is quite an important thing to a lot of men. A lot of men like to feel needed or need to feel needed. It is something that is quite important to them. And it's something that I don't think she understood at the time. And so it was kind of ironic in the end, because she was being hyper independent because she thought that would be a positive trait and something that he would like, but actually it was pushing him away because he wanted to feel needed, he wanted to help her, he wanted to take care of her, he wanted to be all of those things for her, but she wasn't allowing him to do that. And so it kind of had a negative impact on their relationship as opposed to a positive one. But thankfully she was able to have the self-awareness to kind of realize what was happening there and kind of make some adjustments. But in also doing that, she realized that she kind of had to let go of some of these feminist beliefs that she had about, you know, how to conduct yourself in a relationship, and her views about independence and all of that kind of stuff, and the position that a man should take in her life, etc. And to be fair, they're now happily married, and she is absolutely so in love with this man. She literally glows when she talks about him. And it's just crazy to me to think that if she didn't have that moment of realizing what was going on there and wasn't able to course correct, then her outcome would have probably been different. Who knows if they would have gotten married? And that's such a weird thing to even think about now, because I can't imagine them two not being married. Like, they make perfect sense together, but they could very well have not been like that, because her views before were actually causing harm to her relationship. It is crazy how much this stuff can have a big impact on your outcomes, which is why I think it's important to talk about. But within the rest of her interview with Mary Claire, Gottlieb also talks about the fact that we need to kind of destigmatize women saying that they want to have a partner. You know, she emphasizes the fact that there's nothing wrong with wanting to be in a relationship. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have a partner. But yeah, we seem to have this kind of culture where if a woman openly outright says that she wants these things, she's kind of viewed in a negative way, to the point where, like she said before in her article, that many women within her generation didn't even feel comfortable saying to each other that they longed for marriage and longed for...
Yeah, guess who does that? Women. Women will look down on other women who are in relationships. It's not men.
For kids and family and stuff like that. Now, Gottlieb's message did unsurprisingly receive some backlash. She had some people accusing her of being an anti-feminist and also calling her shameful, arguing that she was basically trying to encourage women to settle down with anyone and to get married out of fear. To which she responded to by saying that she's not criticizing feminism as a whole, and she's also not saying that you should just marry and settle down with anybody, but she is making a point of discussing and challenging some of the feminist ideas that are out there.
Mr. Smith, happy holidays, my brother. Happy holidays. This is the thing where, this is why I just don't deal with women, right? I mean, don't deal with feminists. Just let them suffer, right? Let them live their so-called happy life.
That encourage women to believe that they can have it all without having to compromise on anything. Because she does think that it can be harmful to some women when it comes to the impact it can have on their romantic lives. Because of course, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, you're going to have to compromise. So if you've got an ideology that teaches you that you should never compromise, and that's what empowerment looks like, then it makes it very difficult for you to be able to have a healthy, sustainable relationship. I also just find it really crazy that she was considered an anti-feminist for discussing this, because ultimately what she's doing is she's looking back on her life and she's reflecting on the choices that she's made that have led to the outcomes that she has. Quite clearly, she's not happy with the outcomes that she's had as a result of those choices she made in her youth. And so what she's simply doing is connecting the dots to understand how she got there, and is just simply spreading the word to other young women so that they don't repeat the mistakes that she's made. But I guess it would have been pro-feminist if she just kept quiet.
Real Rain, I agree, right? I think a lot of women is treat feminism as a lifestyle and not a philosophy. 100%. This is the thing where I've said this before, okay? And I believe a lot of men, you know, don't do the same thing. But a lot of men don't. I think a lot. Light Star, what's up? She's right. When women are forced to go to work, you are asking her to do more than she can do. Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, this is the thing where, you know, you go about it where don't think that you can have it all, right? Don't think that you can have it all.
And just allowed women to potentially end up in the same situation that she's found herself in. I just find that really bizarre, because what are we classifying as feminist and anti-feminist these days? Because I see an older woman who's trying to help younger women by sharing wisdom, but yet somehow that's considered anti-feminist. Then the last article we'll be discussing today is by Petronella Wyatt, titled "Feminism Has Left Middle-Aged Women Like Me Single, Childless and Depressed." Within her article, Wyatt argues that feminism failed women within her generation because it taught them to prioritize their careers above all else, and in the process it's left them single and childless in their 50s. She describes growing up in a privileged background during the Thatcher era, and she remembers a time when she was in private school when Margaret Thatcher came and spoke to her when she was 13, and what she was told by Margaret Thatcher was that her career superseded any relationship she'll ever have with the opposite sex. At school, she remembers regularly being discouraged from pursuing traditional pursuits, as she would often hear things like, "Paulinas don't cook, they think." Again, Wyatt is not completely against feminism. She acknowledges the many successes and the necessary things that feminism did in the past, such as allowing women to have financial freedom, as well as also giving them the opportunity to access education and the workforce. However, she feels as though as modern Western cultures have evolved and changed, feminism also needs to evolve and change, because she does feel as though our current culture, in the way that it is now, has actually outgrown the old traditional feminist goals. And so she thinks that it's time for it to have a rethink and for it to adapt. A central part of her argument within our article is that middle-aged, single, childless women in her generation are deeply lonely. She cites a US medical study that identified loneliness as a leading cause of depression amongst middle-aged women. She also shares her own experience and how she's also struggled very much with depression, and how one time it was so bad she had to be hospitalized after some friends raised some concerns because she had had impulses of very dark thoughts, and she had confided in a nurse that she had contemplated taking her own life. And she strongly links her depression to the fact that she was living a very solitary existence. And this isn't really uncommon, because I saw a documentary called The Birth Gap, and they were talking about how there's like a generation of older women in Japan who never had children, and the effects that loneliness actually has on them.
While we were filming, unknown to me, our production assistant Mie was talking to some locals. They explained how the week before, a 90-year-old woman with no family had thrown herself from the roof.
One man said, right there. She fell off because she was lonely.
Back near the station.
May I say, the job of the Fed chair is to create enough jobs for people who want to work. Can we think, is this realistic? I don't think the Fed chair has that kind of power, right? I don't think the Fed chair has that kind of power of creating jobs. Right, so I don't think that's realistic.
I asked a store owner and his mother how often this happens. On a weekly basis, in this Tokyo suburb, old people were throwing themselves from the roofs, or their corpses were being found in their homes.
And so I do think we really do underestimate how difficult loneliness actually is, because we're so young. You know, when you're young, you know, your parents are still around, you still have friends who probably don't all have children yet, so their time is not really super occupied with family and obligations, etc. And, you know, you've got so many people around you, you've got your own community, so the loneliness is not really something you can...
Well, feminism is a psyop by elite women who essentially eliminated their competition from the dating market and gatekeeping all elite men for themselves. That's interesting. I like that, Mr. Smith. That's interesting. No stepdaddy. Heck no. Facts.
comprehend when you're younger, but when you're older, that's really when I think a lot of people really feel it, and I don't think anything can really prepare you for it. Within Wyatt's article, she states, quote, "Much of my depression sprung from a solitary existence that would be eschewed by a race of alley cats. I do not know one single woman of my generation who lives such a life and actually likes it." She also discusses how her peers were taught to behave and think like men, something that she now describes as a fundamental mistake. Feminism made the error of telling us to behave and think like men. This error was a grave one. Women like myself are paying for it, like gamblers in a casino that has been fixed. She warns that the stakes for women are higher. In her view, living a...
This is what I said, right? We can't change women. We can't. You cannot, and you shouldn't seek to change women, right? Let feminists just live their life, right? If women are saying that men are terrible, I hate men, men are dangerous, I'd rather pick the bear, having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Okay, fine, right? I wish you a happy life in your singlehood. I say, men, you got to focus on yourself. Have self-respect, have self-love, focus on your mindset, focus on your body, focus on your money, and get a passport. Travel the world. There are women all over the world. Do not just deal with women in the West. Don't, because you'll be surrounded by feminist ideology.
Single life involves more risk and higher potential loss than if one had...
I agree. Single women want all women to be single. I just know that I'm a terrible marriage partner. I must be doing something that my male partners physically abuse me. I'm horrible at picking men for... I wouldn't say that maybe, again, one thing for sure, I can't Lightstar, I can't say that you are a terrible marriage partner because I don't know how you are, but I would definitely agree that you are horrible at picking men. You are horrible at picking men if all your results are terrible. I've said this before. I'm sorry. When it comes to dating, it is easy for women, right? It doesn't matter if you're old, young, pretty, ugly, fat, skinny, whatever. There will always be men out there that will want you. The problem is, do you want the men? If you want the men that want you, that is the problem. Now, if you constantly pick men that honestly are terrible to you, you are the common denominator. You are bad at picking men. That's just how it is. I am evaluating what am I doing wrong that my husbands who loved me at the beginning got so angry to hit me. I'm sorry that happened, right? I'm sorry that happened, but let me say this, right? Again, I'm not necessarily going towards you because I don't know your life. I don't know who you are. But a lot of women don't realize that, they don't give enough time, understanding, getting to know a man. You have to know a man. What is a man like when he's angry, right? What is a man like when he's angry? What is a man like when he's happy? What is a man like when he's, around his friends? What is a man like when he's around, his family? What's a man like when he was with his partner? Okay. You also you got to figure out what's he like when he's around you often. So women have to take a bit more time when they're vetting men. And I think a lot of women don't vet men well enough.
Followed a more traditional path. Ultimately, Wyatt argues for a cultural reset. She implies that feminism, or at least the dominant version that she was exposed to, needs rethinking to avoid repeating what she sees as damaging outcomes for future generations. And although she believes that it may be too late for herself and her peers, she doesn't think it's too late yet for younger women, which is the reason why she wrote this article. I do really think that this is a really interesting as well as an important conversation for the reasons I said at the beginning of this video. I think that if you are someone who wants to have a family, then it is important to consider these things and to also learn from the people who
Mr. Smith, I would be a great dad, great grandpa, but I would be a terrible husband because I don't care what women think. You're terrible. You're terrible. But, well, you probably go for a traditional relationship where you are the leader, she's the helpmate, right? So she follows your lead. There's no partnership there. That can happen, right? Plenty of women in other countries follow that, kind of way of life.
Who have lived a longer life than you have tried out these theories and put them into practice and seeing what their outcomes actually look like, so you can decide for yourself if that's something that you would be okay with. I also have a lot of respect for these women because it takes a lot to publicly admit that you were wrong and to
Oh yeah, I would never advise anyone in their teens to get married. I'm sorry, that's delusional, right? When you're in your teens to your adulthood, those are the parts where you can drastically change, right? Those are the times when you can drastically change. I would never say get married in your teens, right? I mean, I'm sorry. The relationships when you are 18 or, 16 to, 22, whatever, those are really very rocky relationships.
Discuss your regrets. Most people don't feel comfortable doing that, and I'm sure that they must have known that they were going to receive some backlash, and some of them did receive some backlash for what they wrote in their articles. Yet I'm sure they knew that was going to happen, yet they still did it anyway, because to them it was more important to get this message out and to try and communicate this with younger women than to just carry on and save face and pretend that everything is fine when quite clearly it's not. And so I do think there is a lot of kindness in what they've chosen to do by sharing their stories. I think the reason why feminism can create these outcomes for some women is because for many women, what has driven them to feminism is a fear of losing freedom, a fear of being oppressed, controlled, trapped, devalued, whatever it may be. And these fears aren't completely irrational. If you are the physically weaker sex, a defense mechanism to protect yourself is to fear the worst from men so that you can always be prepared for it, or you can at least try and prevent it. But this way of thinking also requires you to constantly be on guard and constantly be playing defense, which is not very good if you're trying to be in a relationship, because you need to be able to be open to connection, vulnerability, and you need to be able to have trust. And that's the complete opposite of being on guard and defensive. And so in the end, while these coping mechanisms may be well served in other contexts, when it comes to a relationship, it actually becomes quite self-defeating. Now, I know there will be people who watch this video and have similar criticisms for me and argue that because I'm pointing out the hardships that some women face for not having families, I'm over glamorizing marriage and family life and ignoring the challenges that can also come with that too. The fact that I even feel the need.
But that's stupid, right? There's challenges for everything in life. I mean, what the heck do you think you're doing? Like, even if you live a single life, there's challenges there. So no one is talking about, because no one would point out the, you know, the negatives, because there's always negatives in everything. Nothing is perfect, right? Nothing is perfect. In the 1970s, we had something called shotgun marriages, which was related to church. I am not trashing believers. I'm just expressing what was taking place in the era of my, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, do people do rush into marriages, which I believe is a detriment. I definitely believe is a detriment.
To clear this up shows how true it is that simply discussing or acknowledging that there are women who have regrets about not having a family is controversial.
I agree, Mr. Smith. I admire women who think for themselves and don't follow other women or trends like mindless lemmings. Exactly. I agree. I definitely agree.
To the point where I even feel compelled to make these caveats, but nonetheless, here we go. This video was never meant to be a generic video for all women. I don't believe that every single woman is going to be satisfied with a one-size-fits-all life structure. As I said multiple times within the video, this video is aimed at the women who do want family, they want to get married, they want to have children. If that's not you, then this clearly doesn't apply.
My thing is, it's hard, right? I think a lot of women, even though if they want to have a family, want to have, has a husband and children, they're still, if they live in the West, they still they've been growing up around a feminist, ideology, propaganda. So I think it's hard, right? I definitely think it's hard. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Stream Hub, what's up? What is up? What is up? Brent, what's up, my brother? What is up? Thank you for being here. Omni. No, we're just shooting the shit, just hanging out. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Hope you guys all are having a good holiday. Hope you all are having a good holiday. Omni. No, Light Star. That's amazing. I definitely hope them the best. Ah, you playing Fallout. Awesome. That's very cool. Thank you everyone for being here. I don't know. Excuse me, I'm just trying stuff out. You know, ooh, that might not be the best. No, that's not the best, is it? I don't know. All right, let's check out another video. Let's check out another video. It's great that all you guys are here tonight, right? It's great that all you guys are here tonight. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys for being here tonight. All right. Thank you guys for spending your holidays with me. We're spending the holidays together. So I love it. I'm a little surprised that, you know, Light Star, you're not spending the holidays with your kids. I'm a little surprised. You as the mom, I'm surprised that you're not spending the holidays with your kids. What is the definition of simping? Okay, okay. Let's do that. Big bars. What's up, my brother? Well, simping is internet slang for someone who excessively fawns over or does too much for another person, usually to gain their affection or attention, often when it is not reciprocated. So that is simping for you. That is simping for you. All right, let's check this video out. I like this creator, right? I like this creator.
Fathers enforced standards, mothers nurtured. Remove one side and you don't get balance. You get chaos. And today you can see exactly what happens when the masculine side disappears.
Do you think you should fear your parents?
I think
fear has a lot of meanings to different people. I think it's the kind and like what it does to your body.
It's like very evasive.
Yeah, I'm sorry. For me, I myself was in a unhealthy situation with my upbringing. It was not great, so I had so much therapy, and like I myself rebelled, I would say.
But do you think a child should fear their parents?
Honestly, no. I mean,
I'm sorry. I believe a child should both fear and respect their parents. Not fear in the way that that you're scared that your parent will kill you or, beat the shit out of you, abuse you. But you should fear punishment, fear their authority, fear the repercussions, right? Fear consequences.
I feel like you should.
And this is the feminine versus the masculine approach, right? I feared my dad. I feared the consequences of it. I loved him and still do. Love him to death. Great man.
Shit out of my dad.
Yeah, great man. But I was terrified if I fucked up that my old man was going to just lay into me, and he would.
Yeah.
Right? And so you know what I didn't do? I didn't fuck up. That's why I have a clean criminal record, right? That's why I've never been to jail. That's why I've never really had any of these substance abuse issues. None of that, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what she refuses to admit. Fear of consequences is what prevents chaos. Every functioning household and every stable society is built on that principle. Without it, kids don't learn boundaries, they learn loopholes. And the result is what we're seeing everywhere today. Children who grow up anxious, unstable, or sitting in therapy because they were never given structure, only emotional cushioning. And it's not even about being harsh, it's about predictability. Kids need rules that mean something, consequences that actually happen, a framework that teaches cause and effect, responsibility, and self-control. When you replace that with feelings first, you don't create emotionally healthy adults, you create confused ones. This is the masculine approach Andrew is pointing to. Firm, consistent enforcement of consequences doesn't damage children. It prepares them for reality. It produces adults who can handle life, not collapse under it.
I think it's also like important because I think boys should honestly have a masculine figure in the household.
So should girls.
I agree, yeah. And like for me, my mom never had boyfriends.
Chris donated $200. My Asian parents were hard on me as a kid. I was resentful growing up. I am now a physician and make $100K a month and am grateful for the lessons they taught me. You are not mature enough yet, realize this.
Yo, Chris, thank you so much for the TTS, man. I don't know, is this directed at you if you want to do a response or?
That's cool, but I don't really want to be a physician.
Okay.
That is the delusion of modern entitlement. Someone presents a clear cause and effect. Strict parenting leads to discipline, competence, and stability. And her response is basically,
Evil Eddie! My brother, love you. Thank you for being here.
yeah, well, I don't feel like doing that. But that's the whole point. If you don't have discipline, you don't get to pick the outcome. This is why feminine emotional reasoning cannot be the guiding force of a household.
Do you recall?
I have ADHD, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So I was saying like,
I know what it was?
I think that it is definitely a feminine approach to not want to like fear your guardian or whatever. But like, Andrew gave a really example because in his case, I'm assuming from what I've heard, I don't know him that well, that his father did it in a way that really brought him up and like enforced being a good kid or something like
his
that.
His father would kick his ass if he messed up.
Yeah, you know. In my case, it was like my mom has mental health issues and she would act out of turn and say if I left a dish in the sink, well, suddenly things are being thrown at me. So it was like, for me, I was in a constant state of fear, not in like, oh, I'm scared.
Sure, but I'm
like
not talking about fear in the sense that like you're fearing for your safety just for nothing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about fear in the sense of fear of consequences.
This distinction is everything. Modern discourse pretends all fear is abuse, but there's a massive difference between fear of consequences and fear for survival. One creates structure, the other creates dysfunction. She keeps blending the two because she's filtering a general principle through personal trauma. But Jake and Andrew are discussing concepts. That's why the conversation isn't connecting.
I think that should be a thing. I think that it's important to have a parental role with someone who you respect enough to adhere to their lessons and
which of the
regulations.
parents do you think is more likely to instill the fear of consequences?
So I'm not the best person for this because I never had
It's
a
a
father
pretty
figure.
simple question. Which parent do you think is more likely to instill a fear of
Happy, hope you have a good day.
consequences? Mother or the father?
For me, it was my mother. I didn't have any example of a father, no boyfriends, nothing. So I
Right,
don't
so
know.
traditionally, do you think that it's the father's job to instill consequences when the children act badly?
Yeah, traditionally, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a healthy fear to have?
Yeah, if it's executed like that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And I'd say for girls and boys, just the same. But today, in this sort of hyper feminine world that we live in, the mother's parenting tactic is seen as the best parenting tactic.
Who says that?
Well, I think that just in general these days, when it comes to parenting, we see a lot of, put them in the corner and then tell them that you love them, and then that's the way that you discipline a child.
And he is 100% right. Society treats the mother's soft, feelings-first parenting style as the gold standard and demonizes the father's discipline as abuse. And the result? A generation of
Yes, we can tell. We can tell.
men who fold under pressure, avoid responsibility, and act more feminine than the girls. And a generation of women who have zero boundaries and end up selling themselves for attention because no one ever told them no. Kids raised without a father's consequences don't grow into stable adults. They grow into problems. The father's approach builds strength, order, and direction. And the mother's approach, without the father's balance, just produces emotional chaos.
But the father's parental tactic is very different.
And this is the thing this is the problem where sometimes I say single mothers are ruining our society, because you cannot just teach your children one way and then hope for the best. You can't, because here's the thing where you are seeing, I don't know about you, right? But I'm seeing that gay mindset, or gay, just gaylessness, or trans indoctrination is happening more and more. And I think that's for a lack of, good male role models.
The father's parental tactic isn't, oh, I love you so much and you messed up. The father's parental tactic is, you fucked up. Here's the
School to prison pipeline. Yeah.
consequences. That's it.
Yeah, I think teamwork is really crucial in regular households because there are same-sex couples and stuff.
Lightstar, you have, I think you have such a traumatized view. When a woman gets married, she's basically selling herself to a husband who has expectations. I don't necessarily think like that. Marriage has a price. When it comes to women getting married, men expect things. First husband always told me I was a glorified. No. See, this is the thing where, Lightstar, I think you are sadly suffering from your traumas, right? Because here's the thing where, one, if you talk about expectations, we all have expectations in relationships, right? A woman has expectations, a man has expectations. That should be promoted, right? Expectations should be promoted. The problem is, if you get in a relationship with like toxic people, you are going to be physically, mentally, emotionally abused, which I feel bad for you. But you cannot think like that, because then you are using your traumas from bad men and sticking that to, let's say, everyone in general, which is a bad thing. First husband was a U.S. military. Yeah, but, he didn't process it correctly, right? I mean, he didn't come out of the military with a healthy mindset.
I think it's valuable because both genders add different insights to the relationship and different people take on different kinds of roles. And I think that traditionally the man of the household does generally have that portion of responsibility.
Yep. And you think that's just as important as the loving and caring aspect of it?
Yeah, it's yin and yang, as long as it's done in a way that like is healthy to that family dynamic.
Did you have a father figure who you feared consequences from?
The thing is, my dad wanted me aborted, so he kind of dipped the moment my mom didn't get the abortion.
So you didn't have a father figure that you feared
nothing.
consequences of?
None. I only had my mom, and she was very intense. I still love her. We're on good terms, but
Yeah, lots of the times when single mother households will produce this sort of thing.
yeah, there's hella studies on it.
See, I know we all love to point out, correctly, that single fathers produce far better outcomes for children than single mothers. And studies back it, in some cases, almost equal to having both parents in the home. That is true. But here's the part nobody wants to acknowledge. With the massive surge in single mother households raising boys, and this cultural obsession with feminizing men, that gap is shrinking fast, and not in a good way. Because look around. Every generation of boys is more emotional, more passive, more fragile than the last. That's not a coincidence.
Steve, sorry for the things you've been through. Sorry for the things you've been through. Glad you didn't. Glad you didn't.
Tracks perfectly with the rise of fatherless homes and the normalization of
This is a thing where I want to support. I want to try to help people understand that, you know what? Gain strength from yourself, right? Don't let other people destroy you. This is why I believe I try to push men to be the strongest version of you, the best version of yourself. Don't let people destroy you. Don't let people destroy you. Right?
feminine style parenting as the best method.
I love it, right? I talked with some good friends and I walked away 100%. I love that. This is a thing where I wanted to create that brotherhood, right? Create that brotherhood where we can support each other, where, you know, we would encourage each other. I would have, if I was around during that time, I would have encouraged you to walk away. Focus on yourself, my brother.
And if this continues, we're screwed as a society. There will no longer be a distinction between the outcomes. Having both parents will start producing the same outcome as having a single mother or a single father, because everyone is feminized in these setups. You cannot have a functioning civilization built on men who were raised without structure, without consequences, and without masculine discipline. Degeneracy skyrockets the moment.
Evil Eddie, you are evil. You are evil.
Moment men stop acting like men. And we're seeing that in real time.
I think obviously it's better to have both parents because you do need, having a mom is a crucial role. Like growing up, my dad was extremely hard and strict, and he was a disciplinary. So I feared my dad growing up if I did something wrong. But I knew I could go to my mom's room and lay with her, and she'd, scratch my head. And I had that balance. I think in this case, she didn't have that balance, and her dad probably took the disciplinary actions too far, as we learned. And so she didn't have that. She didn't have the mom role there. And
on that occasion where he tied her up, that was definitely an occasion where he took it too far.
And I'm sure that's not the only one.
But kicking her out, and you said you went to school drunk when you were 15. It seems like we said, there was a series of actions that led up to that consequence.
But do you not think that might...
And that's the anger and the resentment that came out because of it.
Here it comes. This is exactly the female groupthink nonsense that ruins any chance of honest accountability. The moment Jake starts outlining an actual pattern of behavior, suddenly she jumps in like a lawyer nobody hired, defending a story she wasn't even present for. Why? Because in these circles, being a woman means you automatically get a cheerleader. Facts optional. She's saying, I'm sure that was the only time. Based on what? A psychic vision? A sisterhood oath? You don't know the man, you don't know the situation, you don't know the history, but somehow you're qualified to rewrite the entire narrative to protect her feelings. This is why nothing gets solved. Women like this form a protective bubble around each other's bad decisions and then wonder why they keep ending up in chaos. They validate everything, excuse everything, and twist the story until the woman becomes the victim no matter what the facts actually say. Jake is laying out a clear pattern: drinking at 15, repeated misbehavior, consequences escalating, and instead of actually addressing that, she derails the whole thing with emotional fiction. And it enables the exact dysfunction they pretend to condemn.
You don't think that might be like an outcome of how I was disciplined
Perhaps.
too hard.
See? Exactly what I was talking about. Classic reversal of causality. Instead of owning it, I misbehaved, so discipline increased. It gets flipped into, I misbehaved because discipline increased. No accountability, no responsibility. Just a constant stream of emotional justification to excuse bad behavior.
The thing is, like, that's all we have to go on, right? It's like what you say. But what I've noticed with let's just call it the female machine, right? The female machine seems to operate on feel bad for me, feel sympathy for me, nothing I've ever done, I need to be accountable. Hang on, let me finish and then you can respond, right? Feel bad for me, nothing's my fault, I've never done anything wrong. All of this I have an excuse for. Look, here's my excuse. Let me pinpoint this excuse. This is what I hear kind of time and time and time again. It's really interesting. So I would just ask this. Out of all of you who are here who are making pornographic content, right? Is this really just like fuck dad? He's a piece of shit, and I'm going to go show my vagina on the internet to teach him a lesson? Is that is that what it's about?
No, I tried to not do it for like a year while I was in school, and it was really hard doing what was it, like 40 hours a week of school, 10-hour days, and then 2 days of the week doing 8 hours, so I had 1 day off a week.
Yeah.
And then I'd be falling asleep in school, and like that's not good when I'm cutting hair. It's not just studying, like I'm dyeing people's hair and cutting people's hair. I don't want to mess that up. So then I finally went back on OnlyFans, and then
I mean, sure, but you're
actually,
hardly the only person who's ever gone through cosmetology school. This is not a rough school to go through, right? My wife's a cosmetologist. It's not a hard thing to go through. It's not like this master level difficulty of just,
What school did she go to?
Somehow she was able to get all the way through cosmetology school while taking care of her grandmother. Well, I'm not going to name the school because I'm not going to dox any of that, but yeah, she went through cosmetology school while taking care of somebody who was invalid in her family.
That's the thing where, I'm sorry, a lot of women, I mean, now that you have, this is the thing where now you have gained the rights, right? The rights, the privilege to, live the life how you choose. You still choose to live a life stupidly, right? You still can't handle it. Where in the sense that, okay, you were complaining that you can't handle, the hardship of a 9-to-5, right? 9 to 5, and then having to go to school, all that stuff. Well, then that's adult. That's the life of an adult, right? Like, imagine this: men don't have an easy way out, right? Men don't have to go. Men don't have like, oh, let me do OF, right, as a man, so I can make hundreds, if not millions. Okay, so life can be easier. Men don't have that way out. Okay. Men don't have a way out to make life easier for them. They don't. They have to suck it up and keep on moving forward. Yet women's like, this is so hard. 9 to 5, the life. I'm working. No, duh. That's life. Life isn't about easy shit. It isn't. Life is not easy for anybody. 5 to What a bad way to make a living. Yeah, I mean, it's like, seriously. You complain. This is the problem I'm finding more and more. Women are complaining about being an adult. Guess what? Well, that's an adult. And then you're surprised that, let's say, incel, right? Weak men who are complaining about, life. That's why I don't hold incel men's hands too, right? These men lack accountability, right? Pick yourself back up, pick yourself up, and be a productive adult. Be a productive adult. Plain and simple. Same thing with these women, right? It's like trying to think that you can go about life easily, the easy path. Ridiculous.
She never had to sell her vagina online, right?
Well, maybe not millions, but definitely thousands to sometimes hundreds of thousands. Selling your body, right? A lot of these women are selling their bodies online, making $1,000, couple $1,000, if not hundreds of $1,000s.
These things are not necessary prerequisites. In other words, like you being tired in school, you working 40 hours a week, like, okay, yeah, that's normal. That's normal, right? Most people don't revert to selling themselves.
It definitely is sad. definitely is sad that there's a lot of men on that is subscribed to OF. And I said this before. I don't support those men. Those men are disgusting. Those men are weak, in my opinion. One, you cannot be wasting your money on that shit. There's free shit out there. There's free shit out there. So really, why are you so stupid to waste your money on that? Second, come on, right? I mean, like, seriously, that's bottom of the barrel shit.
They already did.
Right.
Sell them, so I was like, well, they're already
Sure.
out there, so why don't I just go back?
That I understand. I understand the motivation of money. I want money.
Yeah, and then it gives me the free time to put my time and effort into things that I actually want to do. Like, hey, get clients, do hair, I'll throw events, I DJ and make music, like and I paint, like I do a lot of things. But I just want to have the free time to put my time into things that I want to use to grow my like future. I don't know.
And there it is, the pattern we've been talking about. Excuses, emotional justifications, feel bad for me logic. Nothing is ever their fault. And it shows up in real life choices, like going back to OnlyFans and rationalizing.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay that men complain, right? It's okay that men complain. That's life. Anyone can complain. Just pick yourself back up. Keep moving forward.
But this isn't just about money. It's about how repeated excuses and the refusal to take responsibility, reinforced by peers and social narratives, shape behavior. She's basically admitting, I've done this before, I'll do it again, and I'll rationalize it every step of the way. This is why accountability is crucial. You cannot fix a problem you refuse to acknowledge, and you cannot build a functioning society on feelings over consequences. If this resonates, drop a like.
That's interesting. I always like this guy. I definitely always like him. No, I think there will always be simps, right? I think there will always be simps. I think there will always be weak men. It's just that how many, right? How many will there be, right? How many weak men will there be? How many simps will there be? How many incels will there be? The best you can do is hopefully you can decrease the amount. In my opinion, controversially, I hope Redpill gets bigger. I hope Redpill gets more mainstream, right? Certain content creators, right? Certain content creators get bigger and become more mainstream and push, a better ideology for other people, a better philosophy, right? Because again, I've always pushed it. Like, don't be weak. Push yourself to be better. Okay? Don't be a doormat. Don't be an unproductive adult, right? Push yourself to be the best version of yourself.
This woman claimed that she was violently assaulted and thrown downstairs.
All right, guys, give me a few minutes. I gotta go to the bathroom. Give me a few seconds.
I've been in and out my mind since I hit your phone. I've been counting up the times that I did you wrong. I just want you by my side when I get real gone. Feel it's been a little while since we got along. Yeah, we've been playing stupid games, the situation rotates. And they say communication, save relations, okay. Medicated how I'm patient, wasting time ain't the way. Cause I can see it on your face. I've been tossing, turning, staying up all night long. I've been calling, yearning, wondering what I did wrong. I could tell by your eyes you got something to hide. So open your mind up, let me inside, and let's make it right. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? Cause I keep trying to figure it out. Oh no, oh no. Tell me, baby, what's the problem? I'm only picking up what you're putting down. You'll be tripping, I don't know what about. So what's the problem right now? Okay, now hold up. Let me get something right off my chest. I've been meaning to read into it, time to put it to rest. Is it stress? Is it that I ain't answer your text? Don't you treat it like amnesia, you know I always forget. Stirring the pot real hot, watch how the plot thickens. Around the clock, tick tock, need more than 20 seconds to get your attention before it's on to the next thing. And I'm over here again wondering, can I hold ya, hear your truth, pull you closer, talk it through?
Girl, you know that I'm the one that you can come and complain to. Your silhouette's amazing, but your brain is a maze too.
So can you help me find my way while I find something to say?
I know the arguing just augments everything going both ways, but baby, I can see it on your face.
Up and tossing, turning, staying up all night long. Up and calling, yearning, wondering what I did wrong. I could tell by your eyes you got something to hide.
On December 24th, 2023, officers responded to a call of a domestic dispute between
Cause I keep trying to figure it out. Oh no, oh no. Tell me baby, what's the problem? I'm only picking up what you're putting down. You'll be tripping, I don't know what about. So what's the problem right now?
No man should.
Look at that little fella.
I've learned a lot of
All right, let's do some TikTok videos. Let's do some TikTok videos. All right, let's do some TikTok videos.
I've learned a lot of men have anger problems. Like, they just do not like the rejection. I think that's a sign of maturity if a man can just kind of take the rejection a little bit and handle it in a mature way. I've had a lot of men who, you know, as soon as they have a sign of rejection, they just flip. They start calling you names. Oh, you weren't even that hot anyway. You're like, okay.
It's when their true colors come out and it makes you feel better about your decision. Like, I dodged a bullet.
Exactly. I started talking to this guy who had moved from another state 2 months ago. He already was just, terrorizing the Arcadia area. All these girls, have you ever heard of the T app and the Facebook groups and everything? If all these women are saying the same things, oh, he just invited me over for a nap to sleep together, or, true story. And then I had the same experience with a guy. It's like,
I don't know what that is, Light Star, right? Can you describe to us what the TikTok people who break the pottery are doing? I don't know what that is. That's not on my FYP, so I don't know who that is. I don't know what people are doing that.
it's like, okay. And he had only been in Phoenix for 2 months. And I had already seen all these girls that were just, telling their stories about him. I've learned a lot of men have anger problems. Like, they just do not like the
This is the thing where I've said this before. I promote men to just not approach. But here's the thing: what you're going to happen, right? Here's what's going to happen. I think men are approaching a lot less. But what are the men that will approach? It's the men that don't care. So now a lot of women are now dealing with, honestly, the men that the players, the bad boys, or just the shitty type of men. So that's going to be a consequences of a lot of women's choices, right? Men have listened, right? A lot of men have listened. A lot of good men have listened, and they're not approaching. So what are women dealing with? Well, they're dealing with the men that never cared to begin with. So.
While I was pregnant, I broke up with him. So when I had her, I actually didn't call him to come be a part of the birth. And I think he was a little begrudged, but that's neither here nor there. That was for me. I wanted to have that moment be sacred and special. I wanted to be able to be focused, and just be supported by my mom, my sisters, my aunts, my grandmother. I definitely wasn't myself for a long time. While I was pregnant, I broke up with him. So when I had her, I actually didn't call him to come be a part of the birth. And I think he was a little begrudged, but that's neither here nor there. That was for me. I wanted to have that moment be sacred and special. I wanted to be able to be focused, and just be supported by my mom, my sisters, my aunts, my grandmother. I definitely wasn't myself for a long time.
This woman is disgusting. Okay. While she's pregnant, she broke up with her baby daddy, right? So she can go on the pregnancy by herself, so she can give birth without him around. Because that's a special moment just for her. I said this is what I'm saying, right? And this is the thing where a lot of men don't realize that women are disrespecting you. Women don't give a shit about you. They don't. And if that's him right there, if that's him right there, he should literally not be with women like this. He should walk away. Honestly, walk away. It's like, let's listen to it again.
While I was pregnant, I broke up with him. So when I had her, I actually didn't call him to come be a part of the...
You didn't allow the father of your child to experience the most precious moment of his life as well. His child being born. When my son, right? When my ex gave birth to, our son, it was honestly the most magical moment of my life. Right? It is a moment that I will always remember. XY. What is up, XY? Why you act like men really care though? Where's your study that men don't care? It is like, in my honest opinion, it's disingenuous to think that men don't care. Why wouldn't men care? Why wouldn't men care? I mean, there's nothing that shows that men wouldn't care. Right? Men do. So I think it's disingenuous to think that men don't care because, again, men are humans. Right? If there are good women and bad women, there are good men and bad men. So men do care. Men do care. Like I said, when my son was born, it was the most magic moment of my life, right? I was overwhelmed with emotion when my son was born. And if that moment was taken away from me, I would be absolutely, I don't know. I think it would have been like a big I don't know. It would have been a turning point for me, or I don't know. I would probably go crazy. But yeah, XY, thank you for being here.
And I think he was a little begrudged, but that's neither here nor there.
Neither near here nor there. How his emotions were when you took away his the moment where he couldn't experience the joy of his child being born. It's neither here nor there. It's not that important. Again, women think very little of men's emotions.
That was for me. I wanted to have that moment be sacred and special. I wanted to be able to be focused, and just be supported by my mom, my sisters, my aunts, my grandma.
You wanted to be supported by the women, not by the man you gave a child to, right? That's the selfishness. And that's the danger we're having, where women value the sisterhood more than they value a man, right? XY, right? Thank you for, thank you for your apology, right? Thank you. I respect that. But that's the problem we're having. Women value very little of the man. They put too much emphasis on themselves and the sisterhood. Walk away. I mean, honestly, a lot of times it's not worth dealing with.
There. I definitely wasn't myself for a long time. While I was
Hi, I'm sorry, but I'm from America's Next Top Model, and I didn't know who you are, but you're out here talking about black excellence.
Yes.
What are you promoting?
So I'm a streamer, I also make music. I don't know if you know who Fred Again is and Skepta. I have a song nominated for a Grammy with them, Victory Lap.
Really?
Yes, and I am nominated for Streamer of the Year, Music Streamer, Best Stream Series, Best Stream
How do I
Collab.
support you?
Right here, support black business. What's your name?
Should I put you on my stories right
Yes,
now?
yes, yes,
To
you
support
should.
your black business?
100%.
We're here with
Black Boy Max, y'all know what time it is, all platforms.
all platforms. You
Make
gotta
sure y'all
support
vote.
him.
Oh, upside down. Make sure y'all vote. Vote. Exercise the right MLK fought for. Vote.
Period.
All platforms, Grammys and Streamer of the Year. Let's do it. Come on.
Okay, are you gonna
Yes.
give me a little smooch?
I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't.
You know what?
I can't. Love though. I'm out. Oh my God. What the fuck is happening?
And you guys were filming stuff obnoxiously with every single person who recognized him. I don't even know this guy. I literally am running an empire right now and have no clue who I don't have X and don't even have the time to log in and sign up. So I walked up to you after his little outburst. He probably don't even date black women. But I said to you guys very clearly, please don't use that footage. And I don't know what collegiate level you guys are at, if you guys went to college or whatever. But I asked you not to use that footage. Not only did you use the footage, but out of everybody there, you talked to a lot of people. We heard you a mile away. That was the only footage that you used. And I verbally told you not to use it. I have so many things going on right now that I don't have time to take you to court, but I dare you. I dare you to try me, because now you are taking up my time. This 3 minutes that it's taken to post this, I could have.
And it's funny that I just did the other clip, right? The first clip, a woman was talking about how men can't take rejection, right? The first clip I just showed you, right? Saying that how men cannot take rejection. Here's a woman that cannot take rejection. This is the problem we have with a lot of women, where they think that, oh, there's something special, right? There are women that are violent. There are women that are predators. There are women that can't take rejection. There are women that cheat. There are women that are abusive. There are terrible women. There are terrible women, right? There are good and bad people in everything. In every group, there are good and bad people. But only women think that, oh, you know what? There's no bad women out there, right? It's only bad men. It's only bad men. I've never in my time making videos, I've never said men are great. Men are amazing. Men are angels. There's no bad men out there. Never, right? But I want to show the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy, that's what I'm saying. That women a lot of times say, oh, men are this, men are that. When I can show you videos that women are no better than men. And that's the one of the main purpose of my channel, the videos I make, to show you that women are no better than men. Stop putting women on a pedestal, right? Thinking that women are something amazing. They're not. They're human beings. They're average people. Here's a woman that honestly, right? She's in her 40s. Just like being on what is it? The Next Top Models like 25 years ago. She's no one special. Right now, she's honestly a 5, right? No one special. Average at best, in my opinion. Building an empire. I never even heard of this woman. So really, I've seen the other guy's face before, even though I don't know him well. I've seen at least his face before. I've never seen this woman's face. So it's like, it's the ego. Well, here's the thing, right? What we don't get is seeing women holding other women accountable. That's what we don't get, in my opinion. We don't see women holding other women accountable. We don't. I personally believe we do see men holding other men accountable. Right? A lot of men say, you know, these men, sometimes men are losers, if they're fat, if they're inept, if they can't get women, well, you know, they're losers. It happens a lot. Right? Men are not out here promoting, you know, get with the cheaters, the liars, the pookies, the ray-rays, the chads, you know, the men that, you know, would lie and abuse you and cheat you. No, right? And you know, to be honest, what I see more is that I've seen a lot more women say that all men are predators, all men are this, all men are that. Okay, I've seen that quite a few times. Right?
Have been making money. So your new fame, his Instagram, I don't even know who gave him the idea. Do you know the connotation behind the word plaque? And I don't know if this is maybe a different kind of plaque that you're talking about. Maybe it's a different one. But the first thing I thought of, because I don't think he has any real plaques, was plaque on your teeth, okay? You maybe want to understand the connotation and the vibration that certain words carry through society. I don't give a damn about who you think you are or any of your followers. But he walked away from me so disrespectfully. And it doesn't matter about America's Next Top Model. You don't ever depart from a real woman in that nature. Ever. You played yourself. And good luck with that Grammy. Good luck. I really genuinely hope you get it. Because that's probably going to be the height of everything that you get. But that's not none of my business. It's between you and God.
Hi, I'm sorry, but
It's the ego. It's the ego for me, right? There's no humbleness in a lot of modern women. Not all women, but a lot of women today, there's no humbleness. Right? It's just a whole lot of ego. It's just a whole lot of ego.
저기요.
I thought this was an interesting video, so I wanted to show you guys.
저기요. 궁금한 게 있어서요.
네.
이상형이 어떻게 되세요?
말 안 거는 남자예요.
전 고경표라고 합니다. 그쪽은요?
강민지.
강민지. 예쁜 이름이네요.
선영아, 여기 주방 좀 쓸자.
네.
선영 씨, 같이 식사하실래요?
아, 잠깐만요. 아, 엄마. 아, 오늘 할머니 제사였어? 빨리 갈게. 네, 할머니.
저기.
It's just a lot, you know, he getting rejected. I thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny. Stone, how was your day?
You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm actually hanging out with my uncle, like my mom's brother. You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm actually hanging out with my uncle, like my mom's brother.
I just love men having having some self-respect, right? Steve, thank you for the love. Men give each other a high five. Women throw daggers. I love that one. I love that. Here's something that I thought was interesting. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, right? I don't know if this is true or not, right? But I thought this was interesting. Okay. Could be true. I mean, I wouldn't be doubtful, right? But I saw this. A Chinese woman got 20 boyfriends to buy her 20 iPhones, then sold them and make a down payment on a house. I'm like, that is insane. If that's true, that is crazy. You got to hear this ridiculous story. A Chinese woman reportedly had 20 boyfriends, and each one bought her a brand new iPhone. Instead of keeping them all, she cleverly sold all 20 iPhones and used the money as a down payment on a house. Whether you see it as a genius hustle, bold relationship skills, or just pure luck, it's definitely next level thinking. Imagine having 20 gifts into your own home. Now that's creative financial planning. I don't know if that's true or not, right? But this is a thing where I've said this before. I never think, a gold diggers are a bad thing, because honestly, you do what's best for you, right? Do what is best for you. At the end of the day, if the man is stupid enough to give you, whatever, give you money, an iPhone, whatever, that is his fault. That is his problem. If a man is stupid enough to fall for your hustle, your scam, well, that is his own stupidity. So for me, I never necessarily talk about gold diggers as a bad thing, right? So at the end of the day, if she can hustle you, she won the game, right? I'm definitely a believer that, don't hate the game, don't even hate the player, in my opinion, right? Don't hate the game, don't hate the player, right? It's up to you as the individual not to be scammed. That's just how it is. I mean, and surprisingly, XY agrees with me, right? XY on my other channel agrees with me. So yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, right? It's a dangerous world out here, right? Never get married. Nope, nada, no hell. Gold diggers require gold givers. Mrs. Smith has some amazing bars. That guy has amazing bars right there, right? I love that. So, I mean, again, if you are foolish enough to, let someone dig that gold, it is what it is.
Every one of my friends have reminded me why I cannot. Each and every one of my friends have reminded me why I cannot settle for lazy, half-assed, mediocre love. My car was repossessed last week, to which I have zero shame. I'm filing bankruptcy. It's the best financial decision I could make right now. Shit happens. Things are going to be okay. If the worst thing to happen to me is I don't have a vehicle, thank God. The point of this is I had walked out to go grab myself a cup of coffee before work. I walk out, my car's not there. I realize, okay, today was the day that they took it. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. So I call the guy I've been seeing. I say, hey, my car was just repoed. To go get myself a cup of coffee before I started working for the day, and it's gone. It was my first thought, let me call my man. Let me call my man. He goes, oh, okay, so you're just calling because you want coffee, not for anything else. And I was like, well, I would like to see you too, but I'm just telling you, I'm calling you to help me solve one of the problems I'm having right now, because you can't do anything for the other problem I'm having. But you know what? You could bring me a cup of coffee. Never mind you what it was I just told him. My car's gone. He did not make anything easier for me that day. And he did end up bringing me coffee. He ended up saying, I just did this to shut you up. He fought with me the entire day. I mean, back and forth, screaming at each other on the phone, as if I wasn't already dealing with enough. And now I'm having to yell and beg you to just be nice to me. That's what I literally said. I said, the only thing I need from you today is to just please be nice to me. Saturday, my friend Sophie texted me.
Now, here's the thing, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if that's really her man. Maybe this is a problem with a lot of women, right? They don't give actually good details to their stories. Is that my man equals a problem solver, right? This is the thing where it's hard to say that. Was it your man or a situationship? Was he your man or was he a situationship? Right? Was he your boyfriend? Was he your husband? That's the thing. A lot of times, probably not. It was just someone you're dealing with. And this is a thing where at the end of the day, I find women funny in the sense that you are a unproductive, incompetent adult, right? You're poor. You are a incompetent, unproductive adult, right? You're suffering those problems. Now you want to put those problems on someone else to solve for you. You are, again, I mean, like, here's the thing, right? If he was actually your boyfriend, actually a man you've been with for a while, right? I wouldn't disagree that, he should put some effort to help you. But again, I think a lot of women don't realize you are becoming of a headache, right? Yeah, I mean, like X-Ray said, your car got repoed. That's your own fault, idiot woman. Trying to hint at her man to do something about it. Again, that's the thing, right? A lot of women don't realize that they cause the problems in their life and they want to use the man to solve it, right? They want to use the man to solve it. And a lot of times, let's say this again, these men are probably not the cleanup guy. Yes. Again, and a lot of men, I believe a lot of men don't mind to do that. But a lot of men have faced where, what's happened, right? So I told you guys this story, right? I've told you guys this story plenty of times. My ex, okay? I got a $10,000 loan, $10,000 loan to help her with a medical surgery, So she needed some medical work. And it cost about 10 grand. I got a 10 grand loan because I loved her, right? So I did it. I got a 10 grand loan, sent her the money. And then a little later on, right? Couple months later, she broke up with me. I still had to pay that fucking loan, right? So a lot of men are realizing, what the fuck am I doing this for? Right? At the end of the day, I could save you. There's no guarantee that you will be there for me. None. So at the end of the day, it's like, nah, right? We gotta be our own productive adults because a lot of men have been screwed, and I've been there. I've done that. So it doesn't mean that I'm gonna forever be jaded in helping a woman, but honestly, I'm going to be very wary and I'm going to be very mindful of how I help. No, I mean, at the end of the day, right? I didn't because I don't know. Maybe I was stupid, right? I mean, again, love makes you do stupid shit. I know that was 10K and I had to really pay for that. So demons.
Wanted to hang out. I tell her, hey, I don't have a car. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. What can I do? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Do you need to go get groceries? Let me just come and get you out of the house. What can I do to help? So she came, picked me and my daughter up, took me to the thrift store because that's what I wanted to do. We all went out to eat, came back here, hung out. She kept me busy and made sure that I was okay. Sunday, my best friend Alicia picked me up and took me to go get 4 things I found off Facebook Marketplace Sunday afternoon. I didn't have a way to go get these things myself, and she knew how much I really wanted them. So she took me to go get those things, as well as took me to the grocery store to make sure that my daughter and I had groceries for the week. She only got 4 hours of sleep the night before because she was planning and throwing a whole birthday party for a 1-year-old. She still made time for me. Today, Monday, my other friend took me to go get my personal property out of my car that was repossessed. We ended up getting coffee. We spent the afternoon together. We got lunch. We drove around, laughed, listened to music. She completely took my mind off of everything.
This is something that, I mean, you don't really give any good story because, okay, you compare your best friends, right, to a man that you say possibly your man. It doesn't really sound like he's your man, okay? Again, if he's a man you're dealing with casually, that it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like sometimes maybe you're not the same level of, a relationship to your friends you probably known for years.
Over the last 3 days, that guy has been a ghost, hasn't called, hasn't texted. Hey, do you need anything? I know you don't have a car right now. I'd bring you something because you don't have a car right now. Nothing. Meanwhile, all my friends are happy to just get me out of the house so I don't feel cooped up. So I don't feel like I'm stuck in the house the way that I am because I don't have a car. Friends have all made sure that I'm good. My daughter's good. So no, I cannot settle for mediocre, half-ass lazy love. And neither should you. Especially not when you know what it feels like to be loved and considered. Each and every one of my
And here's the thing, right? Let me say this. When she's comparing her friends, hopefully, right, there's years of a back and forth that's been built. A lot of times for a lot of men who are just recently dealing with you, they don't know how you would be with them, right? So honestly, I doubt this man was actually her boyfriend, actually her man. I doubt it. So I think that's the problem a lot of women are facing. You're not really dealing with someone that is actually your man. You're dealing with a situationship or a person that you just start getting to know, starts playing, messing around with.
Each and every one of my friends have reminded me why I cannot settle. I had walked out to go grab myself a cup of coffee. Like, let me call my man. Let me call my man. Because, oh, okay, so you're just calling because you want. Mind you, what it was, I literally said.
Friends really just did it up for her where her boyfriend didn't. In there, did you notice what the man was going through? She's a single mom and the kid isn't his. Her broke ass got her car repoed. Happens to the best of us. I've had 2 cars repoed before. Y'all didn't know that about me. So I'm not saying that make you, but it's just, that's a lot to be laying on somebody. You feel what I'm saying to you? That's a lot to be laying on somebody.
I know he does. I like his take sometimes, but he definitely, wants to show it off. But I say this, right? This is the thing where a lot of women don't realize that you are putting too much stress on someone you probably recently got to know, right? Again, I doubt she's been with this man for years. I've been, when I was like, there was a girl I was dating, right? There was a girl I was dating, and honestly, we've been on 2 dates, only to find this woman is very mentally disturbed, right? Wake up late at night and she's like drinking my liquor. I mean, she was very mentally ill. And I was like, this is the second time I met you. So for me, it's like, it's too much. It's just too much to deal with. So a lot of times, a lot of women don't realize that you just started to know this person. You are putting way too much on someone else's shoulder you barely know. So you compare your friends, which you've known for probably years, to a man that you probably haven't known that long. Ridiculous. It takes months. I mean, like, yeah, 2 dates. I couldn't deal with it, right? I couldn't deal with it.
Serious question for the men. Do we not believe in courting anymore? Like, do you not chase the women that you are interested in? Is this like a new age thing? Like, I really don't get it, and I'm genuinely curious because I think it's weird for me as a woman to be the one reaching out to a guy who claims to be interested in me. Like, it's weird because you want to be the leader. I want you to be the leader, but part of that means that you should also be pursuing me and you should be showing me what's so great about you. So, like, is this a new age thing? Help me understand. Serious question for the men. Do we not believe in courting anymore? Like,
what do you guys think? I think that, again, women have changed society. So, in my honest opinion, courting for Western women are out the door, right? Courting for Western women is out the door. I think Western women should not be expecting courting, should not be respecting chivalry, should not be expecting gentlemanly behavior. I'm sorry, they shouldn't, right? They should be, they could expect to be treated like equals, right? With respect, but special treatment, no. I think that should be out the window because that has, honestly, in my opinion, been gone, right? Long gone. That because I think a lot of women, not all women, but I think the majority of modern day women, they don't qualify for courting, courting, chivalry, gentlemanly behavior, the hookup culture, situationship culture, roster culture. I'm sorry, right? The strong, independent, I don't need no man mindset. So no more gentlemanly behavior. No, I honestly believe I'm not saying all, right? Nothing about all, but I believe for the majority or a good amount of Western women, they don't qualify for old school traditional mindset. They don't. That's my opinion. Okay. Now if you find a man that would still give you courtship, which she hasn't found a man that would, right? She's not dealing with a man that would, right? You can find a man like that, right? You could find a man like that. But I believe a lot of times, a lot of women, they now have the mindset, right? The indoctrination of feminism. Now, they may either not be full-blown feminists, but still, they have been poisoned by feminism even a little bit. So a lot of women are very combative. They're not feminine in nature. They're not feminine around you, right? They're not ladylike around you, okay? And they have not lived a ladylike lifestyle. So a lot of these women, let's say, a career woman, let's say a woman that had dozens of bodies under her. Well, how would you expect courting when honestly you've been living a modern women kind of life? I always think that's kind of weird, in my opinion, where a lot of women want traditional, dating, yet they themselves are not traditional. Now, if you are a traditional woman, I all for it that you want to try to find a traditional man. Great. But again, I believe most women are not traditional. So I believe most men shouldn't be traditional because then it doesn't fit. A traditional man being with a non-traditional woman, I don't believe it will mix. So, no.
Men aren't immediately loved.
And why is that, Ethan?
No, but it's true. You've got to earn your worth as a man. You do have to earn your worth as a man.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Really?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Fair dude.
There's some very cute people who would be immediately loved. And some men with only a face a mother could love. It's just the way the world.
No, I'm not talking about love as in the simplest term of oh look, he's cute. I'm saying in a broader term of life, you have to earn your worth as a man.
Every womanizer, every player, every guy juggling 3 broads at the same time is only doing so out of fear. Fear of being crushed by a woman. Because one day, back in the day, they weren't a player. They liked one girl.
Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something.
You do have to do that, because otherwise you get pushed to the wayside. You go around now, you go outside on the streets of London and go to a woman and say, your man, your potential future husband, how much do you want him to earn? How much do you want what kind of lifestyle do you want for him? History of the time, especially, it's worse now. You see it on TikTok where they're like, what do you want your man to earn a month? They're like fucking 10 grand. Men aren't...
I like that. I thought that was good. All right. What do you guys think? Red Door, what's up, my sister? What is up, my sister? This is a thing where Lightstar, I think, join the Discord, right? I think you need to chum up and talk more with Red Door, right? She's an amazing woman, right? Red Door is an amazing woman. She's married, right? A grandmother. She's the thing she said, she's an amazing woman, okay? Has an amazing family. So she's lived a life probably opposite to yours, right? I think Red Door she's an amazing woman that I think she would give you great guidance, right? I think she would be a great friend. So definitely check out the Discord, chum up with Red Door. She's an amazing woman. I guarantee you guys might get along, right? I think you guys might get along. So, and she will give you, I think she could give you great guidance. I do have a link in my let's see. I do have that as a link. I do have a link in my copy Evil Eddie, copy that link, right? Save that link. That's the link that I made myself. It's in my whatchamacallit. That link is in my my description. So use that link, right? That's a link that won't expire. Right? So copy that and use that one. Well, no, well, she's Native American, right? She's Native American. Not your not your Indian kind of thing, right? She's Native American. All right, let's there's this video that I want to talk about. So, but let's do this.
You know things are.
It's
Okay, so a while back, right? I mean, no, my last live, right? My last live, me and Alan, right? Me and Alan was talking about abuse, right? We were talking about abuse. And this is the thing where I said this to him that not all cases, but I believe majority of cases where women will either go back to their abuser, right? Women will either go back to their abuser or women will continue the cycle of getting with men that are abusive in nature, right? This is the problem with a lot of women where they create said chaos. I believe a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women create said chaos. Now, personal opinion, I believe majority of women create said chaos. Because in my opinion, I think a lot of women desire, they get the high, right? The addiction high, right? The cocaine high, right? The crack high. When it comes to the dopamine effect of emotions, right? The highs of the highs and the lows of the lows, it's a dopamine effect. So women, I believe, right? A lot of women, if not majority of them, love to they love to get high on emotions, right? A lot of women love to get high on emotions. So why would I say that, right? How do you predict abuse? Well, here's my opinion, right? It's patterns. It's patterns. It's not ignoring red flags. So a man that's not can control his emotions, a man how he expresses his emotions are good signs. A man how he interacts with people is good signs. A man how direct he is. It's observation, right? Observing their past is very big. So there's a lot of ways to determine. Now, nothing is foolproof, right? Maybe he's an amazing liar. Maybe he's an amazing whatever. But again, I think a lot of times what a lot of women are not saying is that they are ignoring red flags. I think a lot of times women are ignoring red flags instead. So I want to talk about this video, right? So let's check it out, right? Let's check this out.
Been a really long and tough couple of nights, and I guess day or so, because this thing happened yesterday. But I did want to come over here, and because I already posted these pictures, which I know are gruesome and not self-explanatory, I did want to come on here and kind of explain what happened with everything. So this might be a multi-part, not a series, but I guess video, because I don't want to be talking on here for 20 minutes. But I did want to come here and talk about pretty much what happened. Just to start, this is a really heavy source of pain for me. It's been really hectic. So basically, long story short, I'll start the situation from when I left town. I decided to go on a trip with my mom. Originally, my sister was supposed to come on the trip. I don't even want to get into the weeds of that and make this about my sisters. I've been seeing comments and their contributions that are extremely negative. It was all relative to this European trip that we were supposed to take. They didn't end up coming, or one of my sisters didn't, and that just became its own thing, which is now why they're, I guess, showing support for this guy. I don't want to get into that. I just leave it to them and their platforms, whatever. But we were planning this trip and I booked the tickets. The reason that I did not want to go to Europe with Ronan is because honestly, I just want to be honest with you guys. He couldn't afford it. And I know that if he was going to come out there and we were going to go to all of these beach clubs and restaurants, I was going to be taking on the bulk, if not all of the financial responsibility, as was pretty standard in the relationship, because he does not have a job. So I was going to be taking on the bulk of that, and I did not want that. So I did not invite him to Europe, and I didn't think it was a good idea that we...
It's always interesting with me where here's another determining factor, right? Of, let's say, an abusive man or a man with potential for abuse. Why do women get with men that don't have jobs? Why are you getting with men that are unproductive? This is right. I believe this is the corner where we're not loving men, right? We're not putting men on a pedestal. Stop getting with fucking bums. Stop getting with men without jobs, without stability. Stop. Don't get with men that cannot be a productive adult. I don't understand. Why do women love the scrubs, love the pookies, love the men that honestly are not productive? The women's savior complex. A lot of women thinking that they're catering, they're Mother Teresa, right? They're saving a man. And that's a detriment. A man this is the thing with, that's not a man. A man that needs you to save him, he's not a man in my opinion. In my opinion, he's not a man because he can't get back on his 2 feet. He cannot get up and be productive for himself, right? He's not being productive for himself. He's not creating a life for himself. He needs your help.
We even went together because right before the Europe trip, he had gotten caught cheating with someone like down the street. It was like this big thing, and I don't want to get into that either. But I just...
And so before your trip with this bum, he also was caught cheating. How I mean, like, seriously, women, this is the problem, right? I mean, I believe a lot of women are, they're not getting with the most, the Casanovas, right? The men that they're not getting with the Tinder sweaters, right? They're getting with men that honestly are big red flags. You're just ignoring it. He's a cheater, has no job. Am I surprised that he's an abusive man?
Just did not. I had checked out and I stopped wanting to be with him. And that is why I stopped posting content with him. I had originally stopped posting content because I did not want to be in a relationship with him anymore. I also had a real guilt in my heart about the fact that I knew what was happening behind closed doors, and I know what I stand for. I know I'm a girl's girl. I know I'm an advocate for I know I'm an advocate for women and empowerment and information exchange and love and honor and all of those things. And what was going on behind door?
Controversially, right? Controversially, I think men are more of an advocate for women than women are. I think, controversially, right? Controversially, I think men are more of an advocate for women than women are. Men don't tell you to get with a bum. Men don't tell you to get with a cheater. Right? Men don't. Men don't tell you that. Men don't push for you. Oh, get with that man who has no job. Oh, get with that man who cheated on you. Get with him. Stay with him. Go for it. Men don't do that shit. But women, here's this woman that said she's an advocate for women. Stay with a bum, stay with the cheater, and we'll stay until the end, right? So supposedly an advocate for women. But a lot of women, will view your actions in one way.
Closed doors with us did not align with the things that I promote and take pride in publicly. So I wanted to take this trip, and I ended up booking it. He was very upset that I booked it. He wanted me to take him. He wanted me to pay for him to go. At one point, he asked me to put him on my car loan so that he could take out a loan to go to the trip, and he would pay. They could use my car as collateral or something like that. I was like, no, I just want to go by myself. And I ended up going. I ended up booking this trip. My mom ended up coming because all of this fallout happened with my sisters or whatever. And on the trip, I had decided to separate myself from him. Now, I want to start with the day before I left. The day that I left. The day that I left, he actually tried to make me miss my flight. The entire day was... He physically assaulted me. He sprained my toe. I had bruises from head to toe. He just hurt me. And he just kept on physically assaulting me. And again, I think it was because he just didn't want me to go. And I almost didn't even make the trip. I actually was 5 minutes. I got to the airport at 4:03 and the flight left to Europe, to Ibiza, at 4:50. They told me I was originally not going to get on the flight, and I actually ended up getting on the flight because I was crying and limping and no, I planned this whole thing. My mom's waiting for me in Spain. What am I going to do? So they literally let me check my flight. I already...
Yo, Real Rain, same, I think the same thing, right? I think the same way as you. I don't understand why women love trips so much, right? I mean, once in a while, okay, but women love to travel. I think it's escapism, right? I think it's part of being escapism, right? And to be honest, I think women that travel so much are red flags. Personal opinion.
Checked in the car, but they let me check my bag and such, so we were good. But leading up to me going to Ibiza was hell. I was physically assaulted over and over and over again for hours and hours and hours on end, to which I made my family aware and such. And that, in conjunction with his cheating, in conjunction with his inability to provide or keep a stable job, are the reasons that I was like, this Europe trip is going to be time that I use to reflect, to cut him off.
Why do you need to reflect on that shit? You could just cut him off right now. Why do you need to reflect on that shit?
Okay, so I just want to end this part with saying that I decided to go on a trip. I decided that during the trip we would go our separate ways, and the trip was for me to find myself again, and he abused me prior to the trip, like the day of me going to the trip, so it just like further confirmed that we would never work. And I made sure I called my building before I left because I was able to get him out of my apartment. He wanted to stay when I was gone. I did not want him in my apartment, did not want him driving my car. I took my keys with me. I locked the door. That was a huge fight. Oh my God, it took me hours to get out, but I made sure, and I called down to my building for proof. I have a witness that I told them, do not let anybody in my apartment while I'm gone. There are no authorized guests. There was no authorized guest. Nobody can go in my apartment. Do not let anybody in my unit. And then I flew to Europe. Once I got on the flight, I started texting him. I was very hurt, confused, and lost. I wanted to let him know how I felt, and I kind of wanted him to feel the pain that I felt. And I was just telling him I hate him and all of these like things that women say when they're super upset and traumatized. So I was texting him all of those things like, you know, you did this, and I'm so upset and whatever. He was pretty much dismissive about it. I'll probably like post the text here. And I just decided at that point and during the trip that there was no more reason for us to speak. We'd been through too much. There was too much.
100% Eddie. I 100% agree. I think men that outside of self-defense lay their hands on women are disgusting men. They need to be punished, in my opinion.
Abuse and cheating and all of that stuff that went on. So I decided to sever ties. I blocked him from everything, would not let him contact me. He started harassing my mom. My mom also had to block him and tell him stop contacting her. He then reached out to my sisters. My older sister wasn't going for it. My two younger sisters, different story, but form your own opinions on that. I don't even want to talk about it. And so it was finally time for me to come home. I got to my building on July the 12th at, I believe, 10 o'clock at night. And when I pulled up to my building, I was on the phone with my dad and I was talking about how excited I was to be back. And lo and behold, he was already standing in front of the building waiting for me. I don't know how he knew what time I got in. I don't know how he knew what flight. He knew what day I was supposed to be coming back, I think, from when we had talked before. I don't know if he'd seen my ticket. I just don't know. But he knew, he timed it. He was standing in front of my apartment building waiting for me outside. When I didn't even get out the cab. He opened the car door and was like, let's go. He grabbed my bags from the cab driver and he tried to take my stuff upstairs and he told me we're going upstairs. I told him we are not going upstairs, and I told him that I did not feel safe with him going upstairs because I know that he was upset that I had blocked him during the trip, and I knew that things were getting out of hand. And if I got alone with him upstairs in my apartment, that I was going to be further physically assaulted and pressured into things that I didn't want to do probably. So I did not feel safe with him going upstairs. We had not spoken for quite some time and I told him he couldn't go upstairs. He had my bags in his hands. He starts yelling, shut up. He starts name calling me. He starts grabbing me. The security guards downstairs see him grabbing me. There's two security guards and they immediately try to alleviate the situation. They're like, hey, stop touching her. She said you can't go upstairs. You can't go. There's a huge argument in the lobby. He's like, I'm going. I don't give a fuck. Tell her. Oh, I don't know if I'm able to say that on here. Hopefully that doesn't get flagged. I don't know. I've never done this before. But he's like, I'm going. I don't give an F. Tell her that, she needs to take me upstairs. I just need to get my stuff. Mind you, he told me early on when I'd first left and we were having those text exchanges and I'd locked my door and left the house that he'd called security and they had escorted him into my house and they had already given him his property. He had gone through my apartment, got what he wanted and left. So this is all in contravention to me calling security and telling them not to let anybody in my unit when I'm gone under any circumstances, to which they agreed to. They didn't care. When I left, they went, used their master key, unlocked my unit, and let him into my apartment. And he was able to take whatever in his things. He is not on the lease, and he is not an authorized person in the building. So I don't know how and why that happened. So when he showed up, as I was coming back from the airport, demanding that I take him in my apartment to get his things, I was confused because I knew that he'd already been in the apartment with security. Allegedly, he was like, oh, they walked with me allegedly like to get his stuff. And I know for a fact he was in the apartment, but I don't know if he got anything. I don't know what he did. I don't know what him and security were doing. He's made friends with the security guards at the building, and I guess they had the relationship where they were taking him in my house. Once I got on the flight, I started. Long story short, security let him into my building when I was not there. So when he did come back and meet me and bombard me at the door when I finally got off my flight,
I mean, you know, we're building the story how terrible this man is to her. Okay, great. I mean, I get it. This man is a dirtbag to her. He's a terrible man to her. Okay. It was crazy that security will allow that. I mean, friendships and all, it doesn't really matter. But that is crazy.
Handing his things from my apartment. It was strange because he already had been inside my apartment to get his things. So I don't know. I then, I would not let him in. A entire debacle ensued. I told him, I finally said, hey, I'll go upstairs and get your stuff, because he was manhandling me downstairs to the point where securities had to intervene. I said, I'll go ahead and get it and bring it down, but I do not want you coming upstairs to my door. There are 3 points of security access when you get to my building. There is the concierge desk, the elevator, and once you get up the elevator, which requires key access, there's a middle door which requires further key access to the units. So I'm thinking like, okay, he really can't get to me. I'm just going to bring his stuff back down through the elevator and just call it a day. Well, when I left my apartment and came out of residence, those middle doors, he had gotten up the elevator somehow. I don't know, with the security, I don't know how, but he was standing with 2 security guards, charging his phone on the wall, and then causing a scene, saying that he needed to get to me to talk to me. I handed him his things immediately and was like, gotta go. I turned around to leave, and he starts chasing me down the hallway. Security starts chasing him, so everyone's chasing each other. It's very ghetto, very strange, and I'm telling him I don't want to have a conversation. There's literally nothing to talk about. At that point, I was over it. There's so much that has gone on, so much egregious, nefarious things that have gone on in this relationship. I did not want to talk. Security asked me in front of him, do you want to talk to him? I said no. They said, look.
Oh, we're going to see what she did wrong. We're definitely going to see what she did wrong. I've always believed this, right? Toxic people attract toxic people. And we are going to see what, you know, what's her toxicity.
Listen, sir, she does not want to have a conversation with you. You need to go. They had tried to physically restrain him because he was trying to physically attack me. And he stood in the hallway and he was just like, no, it's fine. She's good. I'm not touching her. He always does that. Like, he'll try to be like, oh, he'll put his hands on me and be like, I'm not putting my hands on you. But you are. He told them I'm not touching her, blah, blah, blah. At that point, I like slid against the wall. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I think I have a little video clip of that. I'll try to add that to this, actually.
Touch you when I'm not touching her, it's okay. Alright, but I still gotta let me know. You gotta do shit. Look, bro, you gotta do shit. You already put your hand in, it's okay, bro. I don't care.
Long story short, security let him into my... After the incident with security, they were finally able to get him to leave, and he left. Though he called me all night long, he finally did leave my property. Next thing you know, I go to sleep. I wake up early in the morning. He's at my door. He's pushing himself inside the door. I open the door to see who is outside the door, and he's pushing himself inside. Apparently, he had bypassed security. Or actually, I don't think he bypassed them. I think that they were in on it, because he did say, which was confirmed, and I'll release all of this video footage, by the security guard, that the woman downstairs spoke to him and showed him some group chat between the security guards discussing the incident from the night prior. He also did say that he was somehow able to come up. He went through the elevator, which again requires a security card. He went through the residential door unit, which requires security, and he got to my door. He pushed himself inside, and the first thing he did was try to force himself upon me. I did not want to have sex with him, and I just completely was like over it. I was obviously still upset from the night before. He did not care. He wanted to have sex at that point. I was telling him to leave. I told him I did not want him to be there. I told him several times, and ultimately, like, I guess maybe a couple hours later, like, this went on for a little while, a physical fight started. It started when he picked me up and by my face, and he slammed me on the couch, and he called me a stupid fucking bitch. Damn, can I say that on here? He called me a stupid effing B. And then he just continued to grab his grabbed my face in the palm of his hand, smashed his face in there, and just kept palming me, snatching me, squeezing my face. My lips are busting at this point. My mouth filled up with blood. My nose filled up with blood. He's throwing me around. At one point, he slams my head against the bathroom wall. He's spitting loogies in my face over and over. He slams my head against the toilet. He's holding me against the toilet. He's smashing my face against the toilet. He's dragging me all over the apartment. I'm actually trying to fight back. I am hitting. I am swinging. I am scratching. But obviously, he's much bigger than me. I'm like 140 pounds. I'm 5'10" though. And he is like 6'3", 200 pounds. So there was a very obviously uneven power struggle there. I continued to swing at him. At one point, I did hit him right here, and he got really mad at that. I realized the more I fought back, the more upset that he was. So he came up to me, he grabbed me by the face, literally by the face and the neck, and picked me up and slammed me on the floor. I believe that is when I got a concussion, as ruled by the hospital later on. While I was on the floor, he then punched me in the eye. My eye's looking a lot better now, but it was like really looking bad. He hit me in the eye, and then he hit me again in the face. So I'm on the floor, my face is swelling up, my nose is bleeding, my mouth is bleeding, and I can't even open my left eye. Literally, the moment it happened, it immediately started swelling, and it was just a mess. From that point, I lost consciousness, and I started shaking, and I just remember begging him to take me to the hospital. I knew that he wasn't going to let me go anywhere alone. I knew he would let me make any phone calls because he took my phone. So at that point, I just started begging him to take me to the hospital.
Wow, that is crazy, isn't it? It's crazy, and I feel bad for her, right? So by her story, it sounds terrible, right? She's such a victim. My heart goes out for her, right? I mean, you would think that my heart goes out for her. She's been through so much. She's struggling. The man is terrible. Man, you would never want to be with this type of man, right? He's a disgusting ass man. He deserves the worst of the worst. That man is honestly evil, 100%. Right? No woman would want a disgusting ass, abusive man. No woman could want that type of man, right? That's what you would think that
I'm connected with, or that I.
So did you get beat on, yes or no?
Yeah.
So why did you go back to a beater?
I love him.
Oh, okay. So what did your family say? Why do you look so different now? You look like you're losing a lot of weight. You look very skinny in the face. You look a little ill. What's going on? Are you happy?
Well, I would love. Can I see your face?
In no way, shape, or form will I even victim blame. I know that abuse is a very long cycle. It's not easy. I know, like, us for the outsiders looking in, it's always easy to say, just leave, just leave, because it's painful. It's painful to see your fellow woman going through hell at the hands of the other gender. This guy literally, the black eye it was bad. It was severe, and she didn't deny it. They asked her in the lie, why did you go back to your abuser? And she said, because she loves him. And he's just there quiet. It doesn't look like he's remorseful. It doesn't look like he'll not do it again. Things like that. It's just sad. But I'm going to post a before picture of this lady, and when she was shining, when she was fresh, when she was glowing, and you'll see her now. And you can literally see how this relationship has sucked the life out of her. You can see how this relationship has drained her. But I'm just going to beg you people that like to come online after being abused, please, I use God to beg you, feel sorry for her. I said it last week, right? And I'll say it again. Feel sorry for our mental health, because we that like to give advice that we know makes sense, we're tired. We're tired. We're upset. We're tired. We can't keep carrying other people's baggage. I know it's slow. Mind your business. But I'm a woman, for God's sake. When I see my fellow woman being beaten like she's an animal, you cannot just expect all of us to turn a blind eye. So, but if you're not ready to leave, you're not in that stage, don't post it. You're not ready to help yourself, don't post it. You guys are going to say, you can silence the people, the victims. No. As a victim yourself, when you come online to post your sob story and you go back to that abuser, eventually, the person that gave you the bruises, what you're doing, you've become a willing participant in increasing the power that these abusers have. You have decided to become a willing participant in a circus only because you, as the victim, are being selfish, because you decided to avoid the hard work. You decided to avoid the hard work doing the detachment and everything that you need to do to become strong enough to leave your abuser, but for you to come back online months later to not only defend him but proclaim your love for him, my dear, you have literally added to a system that people like us are trying so hard to break down, and it is selfish. It is selfish. So I'm not saying victim.
This is a thing where, are you a victim when you are the one who pretty much perpetuates or puts yourself into terrible situation, right? So this is why I said when toxic people attract toxic people, or toxic people, you know, this is her toxicity. This is her toxicity, where she loves a disgusting ass man. How many times do we do that? Why are these evil men? Why do evil men, right, are never alone? Why are evil men always with a woman? I had a comment, right? I did a video. Why are these evil men? Why do they have someone? Right? It's always the evil men who have someone. They have someone to be evil too. And that's the craziness. That's the thing where you know what? I don't view her as a victim. I don't view her as a victim. Okay? I don't, because honestly, when you create, right? When you facilitate your own destruction, you're not a victim, in my opinion, right? You're not a victim. Why are Evil Eddie said, why are evil men always with women? Why do evil men always have women? Why? Right? And that's the insanity of it. And that's her toxicity, right?
To be very honest, the reason that I go back, or that I've communicated with him and visited him, that we're not back together, is because of the familiarity and the reliability. I feel like,
but it's not that. That's not the like.
How is it reliable? Nothing about the man is reliable. He's a bum with no job.
I just want to know how you physically felt.
No, I'm not asking the question. I'm going back to what Dominique said. I'm saying that I since childhood was extremely lonely and isolated, and I've always kind of been set apart from my family.
Since childhood, you were extremely lonely and isolated. You have dozens, if not hundreds of men to choose from. This is why I have no sympathy for women. Right? This is why I have no sympathy for women. I'm sorry. This is why I have no sympathy for women. Literally, this right here disproves what Alan was saying. Okay? Oh, yes, I don't say that man is a piece of shit. That man is a piece of shit. That man is a piece of shit. But again, what's worse? What is worse? The man that is a piece of shit, or the woman that wants this piece of shit? Please tell me, what is worse? Because in my opinion, the person that wants this piece of shit is worse. Because this piece of shit, right, should be alone, should be suffering. But this piece of shit man has a woman that wants him. So really, that's the thing. And we gotta, because you can say that she's manipulated, all that shit, but you gotta see the accountability. There was a period of time where she could have stayed away from him, right? Call the police, have a restraining order. There are things where you can do to, put him away, or like literally you could do things, but she didn't.
Such, and I had nobody to protect me. I had nobody to help me.
Pick a better man. Pick a different man. And this is also a problem, right? This is also a problem. A woman that has no good father, no good male role models in her life. This is the importance of having good men in your life for protection. Men protect women from other men. Men keep other men in check. Women constantly negate it, right? Constantly, when I do the mobile live stream prompts, right? I say women need men. Why? Because of shit like this. Because with a good man protects you from other shitty men. It's just how it is. Because honestly, women need protection. Women need protection.
And then I was never able to.
And likes the drama. This is why I said in the beginning, right? This is why I said in the beginning. A lot of women get that high. They get that high from that dopamine effect, right? That dopamine effect of the highs and lows of emotions, right? Extremely happy, extremely sad. Women get that high.
Really express the way that I feel. So with him, it's not about like, oh, he's a great partner, because he is the kind of partner he is. I'm sure you guys know from my other videos or whatever.
Exactly, Red Door. Look at all the red flags she ignores. She doesn't care about them, right? And yeah, Chadram syndrome.
It's not that he's like treated me well or he's like loved me in some way. Literally, the only thing is, it's just he doesn't go away. He just always is there. Like if I don't answer the phone, he calls 100 times, or he'll show up, or he'll do this. Like he takes extreme measures. And for me, like for someone who's like constantly been like isolated and like not chosen their life, especially amongst like their siblings and such with their parents, it makes you feel like, okay, there's someone in this world that makes me feel like I'm not alone in this world, which I felt like that my whole life. And I know him like.
She turned this abuse into a job. That's his job, right? That's it. The man is a bum. So no duh, he has so much time to call her consistently. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a job. He's leeching off of her.
His background, he has also been alone in this world, and he knows like my situation, so he uses that and he says like, okay, well, we're both just alone in this world, we're the only ones who understand each other, etc. So it's literally him being there, and that's it. There's nothing more. And now to get to your question, how do I feel physically? I feel sick especially whenever I leave from around him. Oh my god, I have to put IVs in my body and get nourished, and I look dark and not unkept and unslept, and I'm covered. It's all bad. It's always bad. Physically, he's given me stuff. Physically, literally as recently as the last time, physically, it's never good. And every time, like, I'm always screaming no and whatnot. But then I convince myself, okay, but what are you going to be doing other than this? Like laying in your bed, just sitting there staring out the window. So get up. Like, at least you're doing something. You're out and you're with someone who literally will not leave your side no matter what. To be very honest.
Yeah, because he's a fucking leech. Like, it's like, it's funny that women have to convince themselves to stay with shitty men, right? But women do not need to convince themselves to get with, like, let's say, good men, right? Women don't. Women do not need to convince themselves to get with good men.
What do you know, man?
In the comment. Say hi. We need to put your damn luggage back.
Yeah. Had a lot of crooks try to steal you. Had a lot. Had a lot of moments that didn't last forever. Now you.
I guarantee you, right? Women will find this man decent looking, right? I think that's the thing. Women will find this man decent looking, so they ignore the red flags because he's, you know, kind of attractive. This is why I showed you, right? All that shit she just said, those 4 videos, and she made multiple videos, right? I just showed you 4 of them. She had multiple videos of saying how much this man beat the shit out of her. He beat the shit out of her. Like, literally, like, I mean, he could have killed her. And look at her here, like, loving on him. Right? Look at her here, loving on him. Does that seem like a victim to you? Does she deserve sympathy? Does she qualify for sympathy? I'm sorry. You know, I sympathize for women, not really, but who try to get away from abusive relationships, right? But when they try to go back to them, you're done. Sympathy is done. It's over, right? Exactly. They come up with 100 reasons to leave a good man, but no reason to leave an abusive man. Mr. Smith with the bars, right? That's the insanity of women. I'm sorry. How many times, right? How many times you hear a woman, and I've heard this plenty of times, right? With divorces. Oh, he was a good husband, right? He's a good father, but you know what? The spark isn't there, right? The spark isn't there. Oh, you know, I was bored in the relationship. Oh, I fell out of love with him. He was a good man. He was a good man, a good father, you know. He was a good man. But you know what? I fell out of love. there's no more love anymore. There's no, the vibe isn't there. The chemistry isn't there anymore. Right? That happens quite often. Right? Women's thing where, I fell out of love with him. But do they fall out of love with abusive men? No, because these men continue that spark. These men continue that spark a lot of women have. It is honestly tiring. It is honestly tiring. A lot of these women just... this is what I said, right? When you listen to women's story, when you see women's story, toxic people attract toxic people. Stop with this victim narrative. Oh, I feel bad for her. Why? Why the hell would you feel bad for her? Right? Why? What's the point of feeling bad for her? She chose this man. She wants this man. She continues to go back to this man. I'm sorry. This is why I promote accountability. This is why I promote accountability. And a lot of women lack it. They lack accountability. So, this is the thing. What do you guys think? All right, guys. Guys, that is it for tonight. Right? That is it for tonight. I'll leave the rest of the night for you guys to chill. All right? I love you guys. Light Star. All right? Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Big Bars, I love you. Steve, I love you, my brother. All right? You guys are amazing. I love you. All right? Who else? Big Bars. I love you, my brother. Omni was here. Red Door. My sister. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for being here. Mr. Smith, you are amazing. You are amazing. Thank you, my brother, for being here. Thank you. Laughing Man. Laughing Man. I love you. My brother. Thank you for being here. Anyone else? XY was here, right? Thank you, XY, from my other channel, right? Devil's Avocado, right? Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by, right? You guys are amazing for stopping by. Real Rain, my brother, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Anyone else? I think that's it. Right? I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it for tonight. I think that's all the shout outs. You guys are amazing, right? Thank you for spending Thanksgiving with me, right? Thank you for spending Thanksgiving with me. I love you guys, right? You guys are amazing. Brent, oh God, thank you. Brent, I love you. I love you. You are amazing, right? Guys, have a good night, right? See you guys next time, right? Later, guys. Later. I love you. See you guys next time, right? Later, guys. Later. I love you.